shedding 6 times. What is going on, Horror Gang? How's everybody doing tonight? As you know, this is I Shot Him 6 Times YouTube horror movie channel, and I'm your host, Marcus, Ghost from Mars, Mar, whatever you want to call me. How's everybody doing tonight? This is my Scream 6 live chat, and I have a special guest here with me tonight. Many of you know him, especially in the Cravenites, many of us Cravenites in the Craven community. Bob Hunt, my man,
Hey,
what's going on, Bob? How you doing tonight, brother?
hey, what's up, party people? This is Hank Hill. I
My
sell
man.
propane and propane accessories in Woodsboro now.
That's for sure. That's for sure. We definitely got a lot to talk about, especially in terms of Scream 6, but might not be what you guys think. As if you guys watched the stream a couple days ago, we already touched on the core 4. We touched on, the main characters, Courtney, all that. In this stream, we're going to actually talk about potential characters that could be coming back, potential big name celebrities who could be playing these roles. That's where we're going to be going with in this stream tonight. I put together a topic list. We're going to go together. We're going to go topic by topic, so everything's not all convoluted and all over the place and all that stuff. And anybody who's watching the stream, hit the chat box. We want to hear your theories, opinions, and just show some love. As well as, please hit that like button and subscribe to this channel. Share this stream, share this video with your friends, your family. Anybody who loves horror content, put them onto this channel. The support is greatly, greatly appreciated, everyone. Please. Need that like. And also, real quick, if we can, let's get this stream up to at least 20 likes. I'm not asking for much, kind of small time here right now, trying to build it up. But if we can get 20 likes for this stream, that would really, really make me happy. And I'm sure that would make Bob happy as well.
Yeah, use them tentacles. Get it up.
Yeah, that's right. Get it up. You use them tentacles. But yeah, buddy. So, like I said, I hit you up earlier on Instagram and put together this topic list on Scream 6 characters that I think a lot of us haven't really got to talk about yet. I mean, obviously, it's not official yet. It's not 100% official cast list has not been put out there yet. But given the news that we have been given and some of the rumors we've been hearing, I think that we have some rumors that we should be talking about and could be very interesting for this Scream 6 movie. So you ready to delve into it, my man?
Oh, I'm always ready to delve into anything Scream 6 right now.
All right, brother, let's go. The first topic we're going to talk about, it's being heavily reported, heavily rumored that Rose Byrne will be playing in Scream 6. A lot of us in the community believe that she will be playing Leslie Mocker's character. With that being said, Bob, before I get into what I believe, you're my guest. I'm going to always start these topics off with what you think. So that's how we're going to do this here. So, question 1. Will Rose Byrne be in Scream 6? And will she play Leslie Mocker or a different character? Shoot.
Well, doing a quick little search on her, I could definitely see her playing Leslie Mocker. To me, she kind of has that feel like she would be like kind of Stu's sibling. She just, to me, has that similarity to being like maybe a person who could be a psycho isn't. So I definitely could see her playing that. But if she's not playing Leslie, it would be interesting maybe if we have another returning character that we're not aware of, maybe someone, say, from Sam's past that was older, maybe selling her drugs or something. She could be involved in that aspect as well.
That is very, very interesting. I didn't think about that. You know what I mean? That is something that could actually hold some weight. I will say this. I think a lot of us are banking on she's going to be Leslie Mocker, and for good reason. I mean, if you see the role she played in Neighbors, and then you see how Matthew Lillard is, like she can delve into that dark humor, kind of somewhat psychotic type role, and plus obviously playing in Insidious. I mean, she has that type of background in both, obviously playing in horror and in dark comedy. So
Yeah.
I can easily see her fitting right into that Leslie Mocker role. But that's also if you're going to have Leslie Mocker even mirror anything of what Stu Mocker is.
Yeah.
If she's like, if Leslie Mocker, the character, is like the complete opposite of what Stu is, then I don't think she would mesh in that role as Leslie Mocker. I think if Leslie herself is more like plain Jane, I don't condone what my brother did. I don't condone what Billy did. I didn't like how my son was turning out to be because obviously in Scream 5, you seen he had some stew up in him. You know,
Yeah.
he had some stew up in him.
Yeah. Also,
So
kind of looked a little bit like Billy as well. So
yeah,
that
and
didn't bode well.
I love that aspect that how they did that, how they made him look like Billy Loomis, but he's related to Stu. I thought that
Yeah.
was a cool little reference. But in terms of Leslie Mocker, if she's a plain Jane, like I don't condone any of the violence. I'm not, and she's like really like that. I think it would be safe to say that Rose Byrne would play a different character for the simple fact, and I like that theory that you have that she could possibly be someone from Sam's past, maybe a drug dealer. Remember, from what we know, at least a little bit, there was a crime that Sam committed back in the day.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Who's to say? Who's to say? Let's just say, for the sake of argument, Sam assaulted another girl. What if Rose Byrne is the mother of that girl? I mean,
Yeah.
there's definitely different avenues and different characters that Rose Byrne could actually fill instead of just us thinking she's here for the Leslie Mocker role. You know what I mean? I actually like that theory that you have that she could be from Sam's past more than her actually playing Leslie Mocker. In all
Yeah.
honesty, because that I think that would really actually fit in. Because, like I said, we are all going into this movie, at least by hearing this rumor, we're assuming that okay, Rose Byrne, she's probably because she is that high profile celebrity, she's going to play somebody significant. That doesn't always have to be the case. They could do a complete Casey Becker with her.
Yeah. She could be the opening kill as well. I mean,
Exactly. You know what I mean? She could be somebody who's important, because she could still be the opening kill, or she could be one of the earliest kills. I mean,
yeah.
she doesn't automatically have to be Leslie Mocker. But I will say, I think that would be a nice feather in Radio Silence's cap to get her to come on board for this movie because she's a stud.
Oh, no
I love
question.
Rose Byrne. I think she's incredible. Yeah, she can do everything. She can play in a horror. She can play horror movies. She has the legit like her role in Insidious. The job she did with like the faces and
Yep.
the way she acted scared, I thought was so well done. And she can definitely be a fit for Scream 6. I just hope that I'll say this. I'll end it with her on my end on this. If they do cast Rose Byrne, if they do cast her to play in Scream 6, if you're not going to cast her to play Leslie Mocker, then cast her to be a person that more fits with what we're used to seeing her. Like,
Yeah.
I would love to see her play somebody who's kind of that bubbly, someone like in Neighbors. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I would love to see her play that type of role in Scream 6, especially if you're not going to give her the Leslie Mocker role.
Yeah. Or even let her play a character that's like a red herring, but at the end we find out that it was all a ruse for her and she's more of that outgoing person. Have her used to that role and then she could change midway or something.
That is true. That is really true. That is not impossible at all. I think there's a lot of avenues you could take with Rose Byrne because you can fit her. And honestly, you can even fit her with Gale. For all we know, let's just say if this is just a cameo, she could be Gail's boss.
Yeah.
Like, hey, Gail, we're up in 10 seconds. Get ready. And then that's her part. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? But I do think it would be pretty cool to see Rose Byrne in this movie. Um, I do think that she would bring some more. I think she would bring some more excitement to the movie in terms of credibility. I think outside of the OG3 and Scream 5, when you really look at star power, I mean, don't get me wrong, Jack Quaid is a stud. But
Hmm.
when you really think about it, from Melissa Barrera to Mason Gooding to Jasmine Savoy Brown, Jenna Ortega, they were known, but this was really their big break.
Yeah,
This was really it for them. Like when you, and we all know this, when you get into a, if you get cast for a Scream movie, especially if you're supposed to play an important role, this could be your big break.
definitely. I mean,
And
look at how Nev became more popular from it.
man, absolutely. And and just to go back to what we were just saying, she was already popular because of Party of Five, but
Yeah,
because of the job she did in this movie and what this movie, how this movie culturally and honestly changed, it brought back the slasher part of horror movies.
definitely,
It
because slashers were
reinvigorated,
dead.
yes, it reinvigorated the slasher genre. So with that being said, like if you get cast for a Scream movie, like you're all but certain you're gonna blow up if you're playing an important part.
Definitely,
That is for sure.
no
That is for sure.
question.
All right, we're gonna move on to the next topic. Christina Carpenter. Christina Carpenter. Before we talk about that, Bob, we got 2 comments here in the chat box.
Yep.
Oh, we had a few comments. Castellar, if you're still here, man, thank you for the comments. Thank you for the support, buddy. I greatly appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you, Castellar.
Okay, Castellar, Castellar saw Firestarter on Friday. Says that, and he didn't get no real spoilers, which is good. Thank you, Castellar,
Yeah,
because I do want to watch it.
yeah, I
But he
haven't
said
seen
the
it yet.
score was great, but they did not develop any main. He did not develop the main villains or the other side characters enough. He gave it a 6 out of 10.
Well, I'd hope the score be perfect since Sean Carpenter did that.
Oh, yeah, I think if you would doubt that the score was going to be trash, like with John Carpenter on, I don't think anybody would know John Carpenter. Honestly, like I don't recall a time that man has ever made a bad score.
Neither can I.
I can't. Never once did I ever hear a bad score from John Carpenter.
Neither have I.
Castellar also says the sadness is a vicious zombie film that is worth to watch.
It
That's funny
it
because Ambi, Necessary Distraction, she hit me up in Instagram and showed me that trailer. And I'm not usually into the movies, those type of movies like that, like maybe like zombies. Every once in a while, I can if it's a good story, I can deal with it. I can do it
yeah.
and stuff like that. But usually I'm not. But watching that trailer, I was like, oh yeah, that's something I'm gonna be watching. Just on
It
sheer brutality alone, that looks crazy.
I gave it. I'd say I give it an 8 out of 10. That's
Wow.
all.
Okay.
I mean, that's just
Okay.
my opinion, though. So
All right. No, so that even further makes me want to watch it. In all honesty, that's good. That's a good review. 8 out of 10. Yeah, I think it's safe to say, Bob, in today's horror landscape, getting an 8 out of 10 is rare.
yeah. But for me,
Getting an
it's
eight
just
out of 10 is really
maybe it's
rare.
the brutality that I like, but something with it just made me really enjoy it.
Okay.
I'm trying not to spoil it, but I can
No,
say the
no, that's good.
viciousness was what made me really enjoy it.
Got you. Got you. Well, that's the beauty. See, that's how you know you have a good horror movie on your hands, is if you can't even pin down a reason, 100% reason why you like it. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's how you know you have a good horror movie on your hands. It doesn't have
Definitely,
that's how you know you enjoyed it. Like, you know what I mean? And I don't think we get enough of that, in this new age of horror. Hopefully, we
definitely.
start getting that more often. Okay, so Castlear says Scream 6 needs to be a survival group trying to stay alive and the story of the inner struggle that Sam has. They need to focus and research any potential threat as a group. That's not a bad take.
Yeah, and hey, maybe that's how we could find a way that maybe there is a chance that Stu did live. What if they find something dug deep hidden?
Yeah, that is true. Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Especially with that last part that Castellar says about put it up here on the screen. They need to focus and research any potential threat as a group. That research, that word research, Stu Mocker. You know
Yeah,
what I mean? Like, so that would make a lot of sense. Good stuff, Castellar. Good stuff. Castellar says Pamela Voorhees in Friday prequel series could be portrayed by Jamie Lee Curtis. Sarah Paulson, Lizzie Kaplan, Virginia Madsen, Lily Ray Roseburn, and Vera Farmiga. Not impossible, buddy. I mean, I did
I'm
a Jason before I did a Jason video earlier, and as much as I'd love to see, and I've said it before, I'd love to see them at least maybe reimagine the ending of the original Friday the 13th to where we get Pamela Voorhees for even a couple minutes, you know what I mean, and stuff. I'm actually more leaning on towards, especially in terms of freshness and doing something a little bit different. What about Jason's dad?
yeah,
What
well,
about his half sister? Like, you know what I mean? There's some avenues we can take, with Jason coming back eventually.
definitely. And adding on to that, I had a little theory that kind of popped up after watching your video, but I was trying to comprehend it. What if we just have a small flashback with Jason's father and Pamela, which you could still have, like how me and you discussed with Kathy Bates, but we see the abusive side of it? Because Kathy
Yeah,
Bates could play that very seriously, and we won't have that psychotic, but it would be very believable for Kathy Bates.
no, I agree with that. I think that that's actually a really good idea. You know what I mean? And that's why I said in the video, like, it's not that I don't want Pamela to still be involved. It's just like finding a way to make it make sense. Now that's perfect way to make it make sense. Showing the abuse that her and Jason went through, etc., at the hands of the father. Because from what I read, at least from certain, everything, some things are different. But from what I read, he was abusive.
Yeah, I think even in the video game, some of the tapes had implied that he was that Jason's actual father kind of sort of forced himself upon Pamela, and
Yeah, yeah, I read about that too. Yeah. See, they also talk about that more in the comic books. See, I never really knew about the Friday the 13th comic books, and I'm not much into comic books like I used to, like when I was as a kid.
yeah,
But
same here.
that's something that, in all honesty, like, especially when we're doing content and stuff like that, and especially if we're coming up with theories, that's something we could read into and come up with some theories if they want to, do a movie and stuff like, hey, what about they do this? What about
Yeah,
they do that? You know what I mean? So that's something I think I'm gonna eventually invest in all honesty, and look into how I can get my hands on them comics like that.
yeah, and also with that, the only one I'd be a little leery with having playing Pamela would be Jamie Lee Curtis. I don't
Yeah,
know. I don't. I just can't really see her fitting that as a final girl and then
me neither.
transforming to being a villain. But other than that, the rest of the cast you suggested, Castellaro, is very well perfect.
Yeah, yeah, I agree with that. Outside of Jamie Lee Curtis, because I just think like Jamie Lee, she's exclusive to Michael. You know what I mean? Like she's exclusive to Michael, and that and as we know, as by seeing her play Laurie Strode, she like not saying she couldn't play that role because I forget what movie it was, but I've seen Jamie Lee Curtis play that type of crazy, insane, you know, mother type figure before. But I just think that that would be better suited for a role, like Bob says, for somebody like Kathy Bates. When you look at how in 1980, in the original Friday the 13th, how mentally unstable Pamela Voorhees was, and you watch Misery,
Yeah,
you see how mentally unstable Kathy Bates' character was in that movie. You cannot tell me that she's not the perfect fit for Pamela Voorhees.
and not just that. If you even look at the Waterboy, some of the manipulating she had as Bobby's mother would just shows you she could be Pamela just by that.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. It's so funny you brought that up because when you really think about it, she kind of did have that Pamela type feel over Bobby, like in a way like that, like how demanding she was. Like
Yeah,
I want you to be this way, or I want you to do this, but then I don't want you to do that. Like listen to me and only me. Listen to my voice. So
yeah,
yeah,
and everything that I don't like is the devil.
yep.
And
that
then to
yeah,
make sure he wasn't going to be with Vicky, she ruined. She was telling all the embarrassing stuff.
right, right, absolutely, absolutely. Oh man, Kathy. Yeah, I agree with you, Bob. I don't think you can find any. I mean, don't get me wrong, the rest of that lineup was great, but nobody tops Kathy Bates on that.
No,
You
especially
nailed
with
that on the head, buddy.
especially with
You
Misery
nailed
and
that one.
just how she was as Bobby's mom.
Yes, absolutely. All right, Donna Jacoby. Hey, hey, everyone. Hey, what's going on, Donna? How you doing?
Hey, mother.
That's
It
what's up.
feels weird if I say Donna. It feels weird, and if I say Mom, it feels weird. There's no happy medium.
Hey, I know that's right, brother. Hey, nothing wrong with saying hi to Mama in the chat. What's going on, Mama Donna? How you doing tonight? Val Janowski. What's going on? How you doing tonight, girl?
Oh,
You
we'll
better
get to.
you
Oh,
better see some Christina. Oh, I agree with you, Val. We're about to talk about that. I
definitely.
actually think we are, Val. I'm a little bit more optimistic now than I was a few days ago, in all honesty.
Actually, I got an interesting theory that might work, but I'm going to
Mhm.
get into that when we get there.
Okay. Let's see. I'm doing men to me. I'm doing me today. I thought you were saying you're doing men.
Yeah, first I'm thinking.
I thought she was talking about maybe doing like a review on the movie Men that's coming out, like
Yeah,
talking. That's what I initially thought when I saw that
yeah,
because
that's
I
what I
know
thought too.
there's a lot of people that's all over that, and I'm definitely gonna have a video coming out this week for that too because that looks pretty insane. I'm not gonna lie.
Well, I hope
I'm doing.
everyone in that little thing was all right. I don't know if we should say that on
Whoa, hold
YouTube.
on. Hold on. I'm doing me today. Mass shooting not far from my house. Oh wow, I had a curfew last night and tonight. Just makes one feel man. Oh wow, Val, I'm sorry to hear about that.
I
Honestly,
hope nobody was seriously injured or
yeah.
worse than that.
Prayers, like honestly, prayers to anybody who got hurt and all that. Like that's sad. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah, I mean, this world's just becoming more chaotic every day.
it is. It is. You're not lying about that, Bob. It's just, it's sad because it's like I just feel like, I mean, I understand there's a lot of things going on and there's a lot of people struggling, you know what I mean?
Oh,
It
no
is
question.
financial crises, all that. But this is where the time we're all supposed to pull together, you know what I mean? And stuff like that. Like
Exactly.
like what we're doing right here. Yeah, I'm sure we're probably not 100% where we might want to be financially or whatever we just in life in general. But
Yeah,
what are we doing? We find something that we love and that we're passionate about, and we share it with one another. You
yeah.
know what
And
I
the
mean?
worst thing is when we have incidents like that, it makes the horror community look bad, and it can really tarnish what us as fans like. I mean, look at what happened with Columbine in the original
Yeah,
Scream 3. It
yeah.
really messed that
It's
story
so
up.
funny and interesting that you brought that up, and I'm glad you brought that up because it's kind of like what Mickey said in Scream 2, how violence in cinema affects society. You know what I mean? And
Yeah,
it's really just crazy because you do got some knuckleheads out there that does ruin it for us, and stuff. But just in general, just not even just about the horror community, like just going out there and just wanting to shoot up, what I mean, a house or a building for what? I mean, life cannot be that bad. I'm
no,
sorry, and I mean, I'm been in the dumps, man. I'll be first to tell you guys, and you know, being that I'm now in this community, and I feel like I can express myself and tell a little bit about myself. I mean, I've been in the dumps. I used to do drugs. You know what I mean? I used
yeah.
to do shit that in all honesty, I shouldn't be here. I should be dead from. In all
Well,
honesty,
saying
but
one day I'll get into that, but even
yeah,
I shouldn't be here.
but you know what I mean. But when you find a common ground and you find a way to le- uh, level the playing field and get out of those bad situations, you realize, in all honesty, there's a lot of people going through a lot more worse shit. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like, in all honesty, like it's not that bad. Like I don't understand why it's so bad to the point where you have to go pick up a gun and just say, "I'm going to punish innocent people for no reason."
yeah.
I don't get it. You know what I mean? Like,
It really hurts, and it hurts society as a whole. I mean,
yeah. Absolutely, it does. And like you said, it brings negative light. It brings negative light to people. It brings negative light to certain like cultural genres, anything. You know what I mean? Like
yeah,
that is true. You know what I mean? A lot of what happens in society, horror movies do get blamed for that, or violence, on screen gets blamed for that. And
yeah,
I'm sorry, like, you know what I mean? At the end of the day, I was always taught you make your own choices. You know what I mean? You can make two choices. You can either make the right one or the wrong one.
yep,
You know what I mean? It's just that simple. You know what I mean?
exactly.
So again, Val, Prayers to anybody, everybody out your way. Prayers to you. I hope you end up feeling better. I hope nobody's seriously hurt. I hope nobody lost their life. And hopefully at some point here in this country, we can we can get back to some normalcy and stop hurting each other. I'll
Yeah,
say that.
we really do need to get back to a normal reality and not this.
Love thy neighbor.
Well, do unto others as you would want unto you.
Yes. Just love thy neighbor. You know what I
Yep.
mean? You don't, I mean, I get it. We don't have to like everybody. We're not going to like everybody. You know what I mean? But even the people you don't like, just show them love anyway.
Yeah, kill him with kindness, as that one song from Selena Gomez is.
Facts.
Which, yeah, I know that's just sort of a Scream reference because she would have been in 4 at
Yeah,
one
no,
point.
no, no. That was a good one. I caught that. Yeah, I know because she was supposed to be in Scream.
So at
Well,
least
that's
I'm
what they were
keeping it.
saying.
At least I'm keeping it in subjective with the topics.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. But yeah, speaking of the topics, we're gonna get back in to the topics. Christina Carpenter. I stressed to you, Bob, a couple days ago that with the news of Kirby coming back, and obviously now we do got more confirmation that Courtney she's on board
Yep.
or whatever. I stressed, when I went live the other day, that where does this leave Christina Carpenter's character, especially if we're leaving Woodsboro? Would she follow Sam and Tara to New York? How would that play out? Well, from you know rumors, with these
Yeah.
future cast members, much like the Rose Byrne rumor, whatever, and stuff like that.
Yep.
We got some pictures of a potential character who could possibly be Christina Carpenter, and I'm going to show these pictures. I'm going to show this person's pictures, and then I'm going to show pictures of Cindy Prescott, and I want you guys in the chat to tell me if you guys don't see a resemblance, because I do, and we're going to touch on it. Bring them bad boys up. That's the first picture of her. See, when I went to look this up or whatever, and I should have wrote her first name down too, because this is my first. I've seen her in other films and other movies before and stuff like that. But like I never like knew her name up until I looked it up. But I didn't write her first name down. I just when I went to put it in the overlay, I just put her last name. So I'm gonna end up looking up her name real quick. One second. Andrea, that's right. Andrea Neveo. The D is silent. Andrea Neveo. Now, Andrea Neveo is supposedly another rumored cast member that's supposed to be in Scream 6. And as I told you backstage, Bob, I was watching Beyond the Mask. Shout out to you, Beyond the Mask, YouTube horror movie channel. If you guys haven't saw Beyond the Mask channel yet, go check him out. He does everything Scream content. He's pretty good. I like it and stuff. He's not too bad or whatnot. But he made a video about this, and he brought up the similarities of Andrea and Nev, and I do see the facial similarities. And what he touched on was maybe this was a reason. If let's just say if Andrea Neveo is Christina Carpenter, and I want to say almost that has to be Christina Carpenter.
At this point, I'm inclined to agree.
Yes, that has to be Christina Carpenter. So, much like what he said, like if you look at the facial features, maybe this is why Billy went after, Christina, is because maybe she reminded him of Sid. And also because Sid wasn't giving it up. So, and obviously Christina was ready, willing, and able. So, I mean? Yeah, but I thought that was very interesting. And I do see a facial similarity. Now, with that being said, where do you see this character fitting in? Do you think that she is going to be with Tara and Sam in New York? Or do you think we could be getting some cutback scenes to Woodsboro? Maybe we'll see Christina at the house calling Sam, calling Tara, trying to get a hold of them, or maybe a flashback scene to the bar, a cut scene to the bar in Woodsboro. Where do you see this character fitting in, being that we are taking the story out of Woodsboro?
I think we're going to get some cutbacks to Woodsboro during this entire film. I think
Nice.
part of it, we're going to see certain things, and I'm going to go out on a limb with this, and this is a off the wall theory, but what we were talking about backstage, it prompted my head. She resembles Sydney a lot in the face. What if Stu is alive and they ended up hooking up? What if it's all a root? What if the reason Tara got the call in the first place, because let's face it, if it was Stu, because that person was angry, they didn't know who Stu was and that whole thing. What if Christina wants Sam and Tara dead? What if she feels that they caused her life to go downhill? What if we find out Sam, because of the whole Billy thing and calling her out, led her downhill, and Tara wasn't helping her with anything, and that went downhill?
Yeah, she essentially, and so many, and it's safe to say she essentially lost everything.
Mm-hmm.
You know, she lost Tara's dad, she lost Sam, she lost Tara to a degree because Tara. I mean, you can obviously tell Tara still loves her mother, but there's a strain, which is why
Yeah.
obviously Christina was going to counseling and all that stuff. So there's obviously some estrangement there. So man, I like that theory for Christina Carpenter. It's not impossible to think that she could be behind all this. You know what I mean? It's not impossible to think that. I mean, because we all think that she would have to know. Stu would have had to know her. She would
Yeah.
have to know Stu. So
Yeah, because she knew Billy, so
not impossible, man. Yeah, and well, she was porking
I
Billy.
mean,
Yeah, she was letting Billy gut her up.
yeah, she knew him real well.
Yeah, she knew him real well.
Yeah,
I'll
from
say
inch
this.
to inch.
I'll say this. I do think that I hope, and I hope you're right, Bob, because I really want that for this character, especially because I don't think it would make much sense for her to follow Sam and Tara out to New York. If that's, I'm going to say that's where they're going or whatever. For the simple fact is, we know her and Sam, they despise each other.
Yeah.
So them being around each other consistently, in my opinion, just wouldn't work. And they did say we still have some story in Woodsboro left.
Yep.
And I'm telling you, man, and I said it to Craven. I mentioned it to Craven. I said, what if, because we all think that there's like 3 killers, right?
Yeah.
What if we get 2 killers initially? The college, it happens, wherever it happens around where Tara and Sam are, whatever. You do the 2 killer reveal. You found out who those 2 killers are. We think it's the end, and then we cut to a completely different scene, and it's Christina getting a phone call. Now, mind you, this is after we gave her some good character development.
Yep.
You know what I mean? We gave her some good character development. Now we cut to this true ending scene, and it's Christina getting a call, and it's Ghostface, and she's the last scene killed, and we get that on as a cliffhanger. Now, I know a lot of people don't like cliffhangers, but I think that's one that really could work for the simple fact is then you really if you don't reveal Stu as like the killer in Scream 6 as a mastermind, then you still leave that suspicion that is it Stu or is it not open. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? You leave that open for Scream 7. And I think if you do it that way, that would be really pivotal because then it's like, who killed Christina Carpenter and why? Why was Christina Carpenter killed? You know what I mean? And in all honesty, I think that she could end up getting killed in the Scream 6 movie, in all honesty, because I just have a feeling that a lot of secrets that I think a lot more secrets are going to be revealed. I think those diaries, there's more in those diaries, Bob, than what Sam was talking about, man. And I hope if we don't get if the whole book don't get blown open, just Give me a couple more pages. Just
Yep.
just give me a couple more pages. Just give me a couple more pages. But what, like, okay, so let me ask you this. Do you think, okay, so let's just say Christina Carpenter doesn't die in this movie, right? Do you think we see her and Samantha come to some type of common ground in the end of Scream 6?
I think if she's not going to die, I think maybe something will come full circle with them coming back together as a family, which then will annoy Stu even more. Because if we want to have Sam as the final girl, and disregarding my theory, because I don't want Tara to be a killer either, but let's have those two as a final couple in the sense for family, which we haven't really seen as a family surviving.
Mhm.
But but if Christina is killed in that sense, it would also add to Stu being mad because now he's going to think, well, why can she see Billy but not me? I grew up with him. I was his best friend. I was his lover. If they want to go the maybe bisexual route, like how Kevin Williamson has said they could be something there.
Yeah,
And he gets so angry with this now, he's just going full circle, blown mad. So we get that little teenage anger side, but we also get a grounded cult leader side as well for
that would
Stu.
be cool.
And
That
it
really would be cool.
and you can have it where both are the final girl and everyone is happy with that because we'll see Sam get her good ending. We'll see Tara get her good ending. Christina died, but in the end it meant something.
I like that. I like that. And especially in terms for Christina. I will say this, dude, Bob. I don't want Sam to be no final girl. I want her to put on that mask.
Yeah, but see, then my problem is, what kind of message are you sending to people though that actually do have problems like that though
No,
as
I
well?
get that.
And that's where I'm coming from, because
I
then
get that.
it's just they always go that route, and it really does send a bad message. Because me, I'll go a little bit into my past. I lost someone very close and dear to me in a drunk driving accident. She got ran over and killed,
Oh wow.
and
Sorry, man.
and I had to go through the same type of thing because I'd keep seeing her constantly in my head. So I had that Emma feel and Sam feel, and
Mm.
it's like, what kind of message really does that send if we don't overcome it all the time? Because horror likes to dive in that they become full psycho, like a Pamela or
You know what? Now that
that.
you put it in that regard, Bob, you do have a point that and they do that a lot in horror. So that would be very interesting to see them not do that. That would be something different. That is interesting. As much as I'd love to see, and as much as I feel Sam is already kind of already at that stage, I get what you're saying, man. Like honestly, because what kind of message are like you said, what kind of message are you sending if every single time you're just gonna have the person go full blown psycho anyway?
Yeah, I
You
mean, we do have our slips. I'm not saying
yeah,
Sam didn't can't have slips here and there, but I
yeah,
think showing that struggle and her overcoming after maybe a second slip up that we see. This could be like her fourth slip up as far as we know from her
yeah,
past. But say we finally get that overcome. Tara helps her. Christina comes full circle and helps her as well. Maybe
yeah,
she sees maybe the whole time Christina saw a lot of Sam in her and they couldn't work well together. And
that's true.
and that could have led to Christina becoming the local drunk. I mean, there's so many different routes you could go with all of this.
Oh yeah. This is why I'm not gonna lie. This is why I'm very fascinated with Christina Carpenter's character because she's the key, man. And all honesty, she's the key to this new storyline, like this no new Scream trilogy. She's the key because she's the one who had sex with Billy Loomis, which is
Yep.
why Samantha Carpenter is here. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like
Yeah.
she's
Not just a nod to Sam Loomis from Halloween and Psycho,
yes,
but
exactly.
she's there for a purpose. And I
Yes,
think it's going to maybe bring back name to the Loomis name. Maybe her and Hank even get together and they overcome it. Because if Hank is still out, maybe Hank has been. I mean, yeah, he was a sleazy lawyer, but maybe after he realized what Billy and Stu were doing to him, he felt so horrible, and this could be his chance as well at a redemption.
That is true.
because
That's we're
Scream
gonna
needs
talk
some more
about Hank. We're gonna
redemptions.
talk about Hank here in a second too,
Because
because
I
he's
feel like
another.
Scream needs some more redemptions because we always get that, oh, this person wants revenge. Everything's about revenge in the end.
Yeah,
And it would be nice for a redemption arc while Stu could still come back for that little bit of revenge, but maybe not even go after Sydney. Maybe she stays out of it and she could be the final thing that Stu leads her back to Woodsboro in 7.
that's very very possible.
And then it will be everyone who survived against Stu and his cult.
Yeah, because see, I think what a lot of people who are like, oh well, Stu would have to go after Cindy if he is alive. No, he doesn't.
Christine,
His
I mean,
whole purpose, his
Sa-
whole purpose will be going after anyone who doesn't believe, like everybody who forgot about him. And
Tara, Sam, even because Sam won't mention him.
yes, anybody who forgot about him, that's who he's targeting. And in all honesty, that could be the entire town of Woodsboro because they
Yeah,
all forgot about Stu. They don't give him no credit. They only acknowledge Billy Loomis for what happened in that town.
yep.
So it definitely is not impossible that Stu would. Why would he not want to kill the whole town? Oh yeah, you guys
Yeah,
forget about me, so I'm gonna give you guys something to remember forever.
yeah,
Good stuff, man. Yeah, I'm definitely interested to see what's up with Christina Carpenter, man. Like I said, I think she's the key. I think that she holds the keys to the kingdom to unlocking so many things we want to know in terms of direction and story wise, and possibly Stu Macher, man. Like she is the
yeah,
key to a lot. She's the key to a lot of what's going on now in this new Scream trilogy.
definitely.
All right, we got 24 comments. We juking right now, man.
We juking,
We
jiving, and
juking. What's going on, everybody? Thank you for the love and support. Oh my God, here we go.
oh no.
Uh
See,
oh.
see,
It's
I'm
okay.
talking and I'm not even modding because I'm just sitting
No,
here.
you good, buddy. You're good. You're fine. You know what I mean? It's honestly it's hard to do. It's hard to moderate when you're obviously live and you're having a conversation and
Yeah,
stuff like that. Don't worry, we are going. I'm going to definitely invest in some more moderators. I actually am waiting for my one friend who went to Horror Hound with me, my friend Sierra, to get a hold of me, and I'm going to ask her and see if she wants to join in and be a moderator. I'm also going to ask a couple other friends of mine too.
yeah,
But bye bye, Devontae. Nice, thank you for coming. Thank you for
yeah.
going.
We both shaved for you, by the way.
Yeah.
No more werewolf looking.
He said something about I look like a giant child, but I didn't even let it get past that point.
Just ignore it. Even I look like a
That's what I
giant child. I
yeah,
look like a giant child, but you know what? That's how I like to look.
yeah, exactly. See, the funny thing is if people like that spammers come in here like wanting to make jokes about me or any of us. I'll put it this way, like, but especially about me, you're barking at the wrong tree because I'll laugh with you. I will
Yeah,
cuddle myself with you. I don't care because not saying
yeah,
I don't take myself seriously. I just like to have fun with myself.
yeah,
I'm not uptight like that. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, exactly. I mean, I've just been busy. It's hard to keep up all the time when you're running rampant,
oh yeah, absolutely.
and I can't help how I look with with my face.
You look fine, Bob. Don't care what anybody tries to
Oh
say.
no, I'm trying to
You look
make a
good,
joke. I
man.
don't care. Hell, I
Oh,
lived
yeah,
through worse.
exactly.
So
Fuck what
the fact
fuck
I'm
what the
sitting here
haters said.
talking, the fact I'm sitting here talking is more of an achievement for me when I should be dead.
I know that's right, man. I feel that.
So ain't nothing bringing me down.
I know that's right, buddy. Donna says, long day at work, but wanted to be there for Bob. Hang in there, Valerie. Okay, that's what's up,
Yeah,
Donna.
of course you will, mother. You're usually
That's
always
what's
around when I'm around somehow.
up. Gotta love the mamas, man.
Always.
Always. Val says, that's why I came here tonight, just to forget about what's going on outside my house and talk some horror with some of my favorite people. Oh, Val, I love that.
Oh,
Thank you so much.
I'm
Thank
glad
you.
I'm considered
Honestly. We're
somebody's
glad that you
favorite.
came and enjoyed us. Honestly, Val.
Uh,
Honestly, definitely got to talk about getting Val here on the channel too for a live stream here soon.
Definitely.
I want, like we've talked about it before. I want to get Carrie in here. I want to get Necessary in here. We definitely we're definitely gonna communicate and talk. You know what I mean?
Definitely.
Might put our own little group together. You know what I mean? In all honesty, do like a whole nother page, another channel or something, and like do a group thing.
Yeah, like a lethal collective, but maybe we could call ourselves something like the Cinemaholics.
Yeah, why not? That's actually a good name. That's
Like
an
we
actual
talk
really
about stuff outside of horror. We could talk
yeah.
anything.
We can talk everything cinema. In all honesty,
Yeah, and heck, for me, you, and if anyone else does wrestling, maybe have that on there as well. Because I know you like Stone Cold and that, so I watch
love
old school
wrestling.
wrestling.
Love
Hell,
wrestling.
I still watch it now, although it's not as great as it once was.
Oh yeah, bro. I went because I live here in York, Pennsylvania. I went to the SmackDown show in Hershey or whatever.
Ooh,
Oh, bro, it was amazing. It really was. Seeing Brock Lesnar in there, Roman Reigns, that whole segment, Paul Heyman,
yeah,
and all that. That was a great segment. It was
yeah.
fun.
I gotta ask you this real quick. I know it's not horror related, but what is the
Yeah,
atmosphere like when you see like Brock Lesnar and like Paul Heyman even
bro,
coming out? I mean,
bro. It's insane. It is.
because
It's
I
like
get stuck with the indie shows because that's the closest stuff. I mean, once in a
yeah,
while
bro.
WWE comes, but that sells out too quick.
Just knowing you're in the same building as them alone is just like what the fuck? You know what I mean? But then when
Yeah,
you even get a little bit closer, if you can, you know what I mean, and stuff, it's just like, wow. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's crazy. It's nuts. The whole atmosphere, then the crowd, everything you see on TV in terms of the crowd reactions and stuff, it's amplified in inside. Honestly, it really is.
well,
It
that's
really
good
is.
to know. Well, hey, if
Fun
you're
as
ever
fuck.
in the if I'm ever in that neck of the woods, maybe I'll join you for a house show.
You can do that.
Because
Honestly,
definitely, if I ever do visit my mother, she ain't too far from there. I think it's like Mooresville or something she's in. That's not too far from
you're
York.
no, no. It's not at all.
I don't know the exact distance because I'm in Jersey, but
Yeah. Well, Jersey isn't even far from here. Honestly, Jersey's like 3 hours, 4 hours, maybe.
yeah, see, I'd have to take a bus though. That's the only problem.
Yeah, me too. Don't
So,
feel bad. But hey, God created transportation for a reason, so we got
yeah,
to take advantage, Bob.
but then again, God also created YouTube, so we could sit here and be miles apart and still chat.
That's a fact, buddy. That is a fact. And thank you, StreamYard, as well.
Yeah, StreamYard.
Shout out to StreamYard for creating such a great platform. I will say that I love the StreamYard platform. It's easy, it's smooth, it's not complicated. You know what I mean? You come in, you set up your studio, you put in your overlays, you do what you want to do, you put in your video clippings, and everything is just smooth sailing from there. It's nothing complicated. Because I originally, when I started, wanted to start doing content creating, I started with Streamlabs OBS. And man, you talk about a CPU eater.
Yep.
Man, whoo! My computer was hotter than Satan's toenails, my man. That's how much CPU it was eating up on my computer, and it was just a constant lag. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Once I found StreamYards, I was just like, oh yeah, this is more up my alley. You know what I mean? This is much better.
Oh, definitely. No question. It's
So
definitely been easy to use, even without having overlays. It just is a nice, smooth, easy
oh,
ride for,
absolutely,
especially for the
absolutely.
cheap laptop I use. It doesn't eat up nice and slow.
See, the trick is, and it's not to say that you eventually shouldn't upgrade and
Oh,
get better
I'm already
computer.
upgrading to the
That's what I'm saying. It's
paid
not to
one.
say you shouldn't upgrade to like monitors or something like that, but I always look at it like this: the same thing that people are doing with multiple monitors and stuff like that. The same thing they're doing, I can do on my little laptop. Just plug the Ethernet cable in. I have an external hard drive, and voila.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it's really it's actually a lot smoother that way, in all honesty. Even though I know eventually when I want to upgrade to certain like qualities, certain features and stuff, I'm gonna have to upgrade in terms of computer and software and stuff like that. But for
Oh,
the time
same.
being, it's really convenient.
Same, because I plan on doing a lot of gaming stuff outside of
Yeah.
just that. So,
Yeah, you're definitely gonna need that high powered stuff for that gaming stuff, my man.
yeah, unless I just use the basic gaming system like PS5 and just stream it through there.
That's true. That's true. Just so a lot of people that do that too, man. Honestly, the old school shit is better than the newer stuff.
Yeah, talk about that. Not meaning to change subjects again, but I still love to go back and play like the old Elder Scrolls and stuff.
Nice.
So,
Nice. Hell
and
yeah.
mind you, them graphics
Hell
are like
yeah.
94. So,
Nice. Hell yeah, man. You know what my shit was growing up? Punch Out and NBA Jam.
oh, great
Boom,
choices.
shakalaka.
Yeah, me, I was always like the Fallouts and Elder Scrolls,
Got
like
you.
a lot of the RPGs.
Nice, 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 nice. All right, so let's check out some of these comments. Oh wow, Val. I'm sorry, Val. I'm sorry to hear that. She said 27
Yeah.
shot, 3 dead. Man,
Ooh,
you know,
ooh.
God, God, just with those 27 people who were shot, you know,
Let them live.
let them live and keep everybody in the chat. Keep those people around Val's way in your prayers. Keep your prayers up for Val. Around her area, they had a tragedy happen. That's sad. Like I can't even I don't even know how to speak on stuff like that. Like in all honesty, like
Neither do
not
I.
like I'm trying to avoid that or anything. It's just that's difficult for me to talk about, and
Same here.
I just no, like that's Val again. Sorry, I'm praying for you. I'm praying for everybody in your community. You know what I mean? Hopefully, those 27 people who were shot, hopefully they live, and hopefully they make a full recovery. And to the 3 who lost their lives, my prayers are with those families. And that's sad, man.
It
That's just
is.
that's
Prayers
just
go
sad.
out to everybody involved.
Harmony Hagner. Hey, what's going on, Harmony? She says, I'm here for you, bestie. Oh, that's good. That's what's
Ah, you follow me everywhere, Harmony.
up.
Even when I don't get the super chats, you donate in Craven Street.
That's
So,
awesome. That's great, man. That's real friends, man. Listen, I'm gonna tell you this,
yeah,
Bob. You want? I'm gonna keep it a buck with you, Bob. We've only been chatting for like a couple weeks or whatever and stuff like that. But you know something, man. You know why I mess with you. You know why I like you because, in all honesty, I'm really big on supporting people, man. Like especially if you see somebody putting in the work and you see somebody trying. You know what I mean. You don't kick that person while you're down. You try to uplift them. You know what I
yeah,
mean. And you show so much support, man, and I greatly appreciate you, my man. And then I seen you have your own channel, and I'm like, yo, you know what I mean? Let's help
yeah.
each other grow. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
I mean, I'm just starting off. I'm still getting used to everything, and it's quite an honor. I mean, even Craven on the first video commenting and everything, it really motivated me. And yeah, I've kind of been off for 2 weeks, but I've been looking up how to do this better. So by the
yeah,
time I get there, the quality will be better. So it's not like I'm just dipping out on people. I want to learn to get better first as
yeah,
well.
absolutely. Listen, man. Take your time. What we're doing here, buddy. We're running a marathon, not a sprint.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? We're running a marathon, not a sprint. Listen, and once the quality gets to the way you want to get it, people will notice that and they'll be like, "Oh, okay." Bob wasn't sitting there backing out on his
Yeah,
passion, his vision. He's just trying to get it to where he wants to get it, and there's nothing wrong with that. You know what I mean?
exactly.
In all honesty, that's how you're supposed to do it. You know what I mean? That's what you're supposed to do is make sure that you got it to where you want to get it, so it looks the way you want and that's just how you want to have it. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? You don't want your content to be look all sloppy and all over the place and all that stuff. Like, so I understand that.
Yeah, especially now that I have the laptop, I got to learn how to do things with it, and I got to learn it on my own. I can't like I'm a visual learner, so I have to like go on YouTube, open a new
Oh yeah.
tab, follow it along, and
Number one rule of advice that I will give you that I've learned that nobody told me, man. Buy yourself a recliner chair or like a massage chair, my
yeah,
man.
I have to because this hard
Listen,
chair man is
support your
killing
back,
me.
man, because when you leaning forward like this, all I was like, woo, it tightens up a little bit. It
Yeah,
tightens up a little bit.
the best thing last time, at least I was drunk.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
I mean, I felt it when
Exactly.
I was sober, but
Oh yeah. Oh man, I'm not gonna lie. When after on Friday, when we got into Saturday after the stream,
yeah, I
after
was gonna say
Raven stream,
technically Saturday.
yeah. So over here on our end, it was 7 o'clock in the morning, and I had to
Yeah,
be to work at 10. I literally woke right up at 10 o'clock. I looked at the clock. I said, "Oh, I don't want to do this shit, but I'm going to." And I did. And it's crazy because it's not my job's not far. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna walk today just so I can like knock some of this rust off and knock some of this, off. And
Yeah,
bro, once I got to the job, I was like, wow, surprisingly enough, I feel pretty good. You know what I
yeah.
mean? Like, but I ain't doing too many of those.
No, no. Like Craven said, once a month. Yeah, I'll deal with once a month.
Yeah, once a month. That's cool. That's definitely cool. You know what I mean? Definitely. Let's look at some of these other comments. Shay Dawn says Cindy could be Sam's mom. Shay, I mean, I've have my preservations. I have my preservations, Shay, and
I do, but
I'm gonna leave it at that because that's for another live stream, Shay.
I do,
But
but
I'm
real quick on that, only thing that makes me hesitant is because of how Sam is more of the Hispanic looking. To me, it wouldn't add up. And I know Fate wants to say, "Oh, he has part Hispanic," but the thing is, if you have a child, the odds of it coming out Hispanic looking is slim to none, even with your background. That's the only
this
thing
is
that's
true.
making me hesitant.
No, I understand that. I mean, the only thing that I can say, the only way that they could possibly even remotely get away with that is if it would have to be like on some, you'd have to explain it kind of like as if it was Martin Sheen and Charlie Sheen, honestly, if you think about it. Like
Yeah,
that's how you would literally have to portray that. Like, and that is difficult to do. It is difficult to do, even though I do believe there's some merit to Cindy possibly being Samantha's mother. I do believe there's some merit to that. You know what I mean? I know for a fact, even though I believe it in my bones, it will be difficult to prove and it's going to be difficult to explain.
yeah. That's why I'm so hesitant because you're gonna have to pull like a Martin Sheen with Charlie and Emilio.
You're right. You are right. You know what I mean? And that's like the only way. And it's like, how do you do that? You know what I mean? Like,
And I'm not saying Radio Silence couldn't, but that's hard for anybody. I don't think even Wes could be able to fully do it.
I will say this, Bob. If there's any two people that could pull something like that off in horror movies, it would be John Carpenter and Wes Craven. It would be.
No, I mean in general, if he would have cast it, he could. But I'm saying if they just say
Yeah.
Wes was alive and they just brought him in, I don't think he'd be able to because they
Okay.
didn't
So
lay
you
the
see it like
groundwork.
that. Okay. Got you. Now I see how you see it.
Because
Yeah.
Craven would lay that groundwork. Radio Silence didn't.
Right.
So if
Yeah.
Wes
You're
was alive,
right.
because with no ground laying, even he couldn't. Carpenter maybe. Carpenter has worked so many different miracles.
Okay. So what if they did it like this, right? So what if we found out that in the diaries, let's just say for the sake of argument, in the diaries, we find out that actually Christina isn't Samantha's real mother and that she adopted her, and that we do get this whole Cindy is Sam's mother thing. What if they basically just go with the route that, because everybody's gonna be like, well, how Melissa Barrera is Mexican, this and this and that. What if they just basically give Melissa Barrera to the Charlie Sheen treatment? I mean, it still would be difficult. I know it is so difficult.
I'd
Like,
find it hard to believe, but I'd still buy into it.
see, like if there's, man, I'm telling you, there is merit, man. I seen it in that dialogue. With that dialogue with Sam and Cindy in the hospital. First off, how the hell did Cindy know that was Billy's daughter? You know what I mean? When there was no mention of it from Dewey. Gail didn't even know. You could tell by when her and Gail were talking. Gail didn't even know who the hell she was. You know, and then on top of that, out of out of all people, Cindy knows anybody could be Ghostface. She did not treat Sam like that at all. She did not treat Sam as the red herring that she should have.
Actually, you know what, talking about it, I got a theory. What if we find out that Christina Carpenter and Nev and Sydney were actually like best friends, but we find out that Christina kind of moved, say, to the next town over? And what if, because they were best friends, Sam is her godmother instead of putting it just directly as a mother?
That's interesting. That's not impossible at all. I will say this. I was leaning more towards, all right. So let's say if Cindy got pregnant to Billy with Samantha, and obviously Cindy, much like Marine with Roman, didn't want that child because of how she had that child, and she decided to give it up for adoption. What if Christina, being her relationship with Billy, was so obsessed with Billy and was so in love with Billy that she decided and she got wind that, all right, well, obviously this is his child's up for adoption. And she said, I just want some piece of Billy Loomis in my life. I'm going to adopt this child, etc., etc. You know what I mean? Like, that's what I thought. But your theory is not bad neither. That could work as well as her being like a friend who's like a godmother. Like Cindy said, listen, I need you to keep this secret from me. You know what I mean? And stuff.
Yeah.
And who's to say, even if they were friends, who's to say that Cindy didn't know that Christina and Billy, well, didn't know at that point that wouldn't even matter. You know what I mean? So yeah, if they were
Yeah.
friends and stuff like that, like that could definitely work. Like if they were best friends and Cindy trusted Christina enough with that type of secret, that could work. That could really work. Man, yeah, it's getting juicy.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
we're coming up with some off the wall theories that actually could
I
stick.
know, I know, man. I know. We're coming up with fresher material than radio silence. Step it up, boys.
Yeah, hire us. We'll get you. We'll pump out 80 screams for you.
What? We'll take that 140 million and turn it to 280.
Forget that. We'll turn it into a billion.
Ooh, now you talking. Now you talking. Now I like that. I like that. I like that a lot.
We gotta set them goals high, boys.
Hell yeah. It's just like Randy said. All right. Harmony Hagner. I'm gonna have to get off here soon. My phone about to die, but I'll be back when I can charge it. All right, Harmony, no
All
doubt.
right.
Thank you. All right, thank you for stopping by for the support, no doubt.
Yeah.
Hopefully you do come back.
Yeah.
Get
Make
that
sure you
phone charged.
subscribe to him. He's a great guy. Don't flake out on him just because it's just me in here as well.
Photos could convince me. Your mom said the photos could convince me strong resemblance. Yeah, Donna, I see it. I see a lot of Nev Cam. I as soon as I saw Andrea
Oh my god.
Nevaeh,
Oh my god. I just thought of something else random.
go for it. Shoot, Bob.
She
Shoot.
she resembles Sydney. What if we find out Maureen had another child outside of Roman?
That's not impossible. That's not impossible at all. It's
Because we
not.
know she had many affairs.
Many, many. And we don't know for sure if right after she had Roman, did she go directly back to Woodsboro? We don't know that.
No, it was never confirmed if she did.
No, it wasn't. We just know that at some point after having Roman, that she did go back to Woodsboro at some point and then met Neil Prescott and started a whole new life. But even then, she was sleeping around, obviously, on
Yeah,
Neil
with Hank.
Prescott. Yeah, that man, that's not impossible. I always said, with Neil being a lawyer in Woodsboro, I think that there's a possibility that him and Roman could be brothers.
Yeah.
So that's not impossible to think. That's not impossible to think about, about Maureen neither. Because like I said, we about her having another child outside of, you know, Roman and Cindy.
Yeah,
That's
I
not
mean, thinking about the
possible.
resemblance, it would make a lot of sense.
Okay, hold on. Apparently, okay, so okay, I guess he's gone now. All right, good. He's gone. We got somebody got him out of here. I'm sure because
Yeah.
Val said one of them said that Devontae was back. Yeah, you want to know something funny? And I'm gonna mention this. You want to know how he keeps coming back?
Yeah, he has multiple accounts.
Multiple accounts. Because when I went to go on my check my analytics and all that stuff out, it shows you all that stuff, and it
Yeah.
shows you the block. And like I never knew that. So I seen that and it said like 3 different accounts. I'm like, man.
Yeah, well, I knew that, and I said that because I'm in Fates, and he's been kicking him out. Fates finally had enough of him, and he
Yeah,
keeps coming back with new accounts outside of just named Devontae. So he's got numerous.
that's sad. I mean,
If only he would put his energy into being passionate for good, he'd have a lot more success with people on here.
well, yeah, but some people just think by being rude and being disrespectful, that's just the way to be, and
Yeah.
it's not. You know what I
But you
mean?
know
Like
what? To quote Craven, we must be doing something right if we got trolls trying to knock us.
exactly. We are. We're doing well. We're doing really good things, buddy. We're talking Scream 6. We're having a good time. We're bonding, you know what I mean? We're doing big things, man. We're
Yeah, I
doing
mean,
big
3 months
things.
ago, I wouldn't think this be possible.
Yeah. And I said it to you backstage, and I'm gonna say it here on the channel now. Guys, I reached out to Nancy Ann Ritter. Hopefully she gets my email. I know she said on Craven's stream last night that she would love to do like more interviews, more live streams and stuff like that. So I reached out to her. Hopefully she'll get back to me and we can get her here on the channel very, very soon. As well as I also reached out to Megan Follows, um who played Jane Coslow in Silver Bullet as Marty's sister. I reached out to her agent. Hopefully he gets back to me and hopefully we hear something and hopefully we can get an interview scheduled with her as well. I'm going to start doing that, start doing more of that, start reaching out to certain cast members from these movies, see if we can get some interviews here on the channel. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Start talking to some of these people, man. You know who else I want to reach out to? And I think I'm going to send the email out after the stream. Everett McGill.
yes.
I don't ever see nobody really trying to do interviews with him. You know what I
No,
mean? Like, and I'm sorry, he's an icon. Like, how do you not try to talk to Everett McGill?
yeah,
Yeah, I mean,
definitely.
granted, he could not want to be talked to. That's possible. So,
Yeah, that
you know what
is.
I mean? But I don't know. I just can't see. I don't know. I just can't see Everett being that type to shy away, man. I don't know. I could
Yeah,
be wrong, but we'll see. We will see. Let's get to more of these comments. Break ops, buddy. What's going on, man? How you doing?
glad to see you in here, breakups.
Yeah, glad to see you in here, buddy. Thank you. Thank you for the support. But Sam's a dollar Billy Loomis himself. It'll suck, but it won't be out of nowhere. Hold on, maybe Break Op said something before that as well.
Yeah, or he's adding on to one of our comments that
Yeah, yeah,
that
probably, yeah,
with all our theories, it could mean anything.
yeah, right. But Sam's the daughter of Billy Loomis himself. It'll suck, but it won't be out of nowhere. Yeah, I don't know what you're referring to right now, breakups, but I mean, we were just talking about it, like just kind of theorizing and stuff like that. Because I said it before. If you watch any of my videos, I think that Sam there's a lot of merit that you can make for Cindy and Sam to be related as mother and daughter. You know what I mean? Like I said, I'm gonna do a whole nother. I'll end up doing a whole nother live stream strictly for that topic on another night. We can
Yeah,
definitely do that.
we just started a little trailer preview
Yeah,
for it.
yeah. Just give you guys a little teaser. You know what I mean? Just a little teaser. Ghostface fanatic, what's going on, buddy? Says Donnie. Yeah, for sure. I feel like Stu will be in Scream 6 in the credits or something leading up to it. Then he will return to Scream 7. Very interesting, Ghostface. I mean, I personally wouldn't be against that. I just would be more I just for me personally, and everybody's gonna feel differently. But for me personally, I'd rather it be like we get that third killer reveal without the mask taken off, and it's Christina Carpenter or somebody of significance getting killed, maybe in the ending scene or whatever. And beforehand, we get breadcrumbs of Stu, but I don't want there to be like something that's gonna even give us a definitive that is Stu Mocker. I want him to keep us guessing. You know what I mean?
Same.
So how do you feel about that, Bob?
I say as much as the only thing I want them to do involving Stu is start laying the groundwork now. Add on more to what you did in 5. Slowly add it there. You could use Leslie as that buildup. Say we have her die in this film. You could easily explain why he's coming back even more angry as well.
Oh yeah,
I mean, he already lost his
absolutely.
nephew. Now he lost his sister. I mean,
It's
I
very
know
true.
it's revenge plot and people are sick of it, but
No, it's very true. I mean, he's out for blood anyway.
yeah, because
He's out for
everyone keeps
revenge against the
forgetting.
whole damn town. They
Yeah,
forgot about him.
yeah.
I mean,
So on top of forgetting about him, now his family's getting killed off too.
see, what if this, right? What if, especially if Leslie Mocker isn't what we think she's going to be? What if she is that plain Jane who doesn't, and they really cast her and she's really like that? Like she doesn't want to be involved with the Stu Mocker name. She doesn't agree with what he did. What if Stu's like, just like with Vince, well, I'll sacrifice my family too. It's not the first time we've seen it, much like what Jill did to
Yeah,
her mom.
yeah.
You know
You
what I
could
mean? So
that could
I would
even
not be
work.
surprised if I wouldn't be surprised if Stu was like, family, what? Y'all forgot about me too. Sent
Yeah,
me away, threw away the keys. You know what I mean? I had to rely on these teenagers to break me out.
yo, imagine if the opening to Scream 7 was showing how he got out of like an insane asylum.
Oh, ooh. I'll put it this way. I would like that. I don't want. How can I say? I don't want it to reveal it was him right away. I mean,
No, no, let me explain what I mean.
yeah. Explain that, please. Explain
We
because
cut into
that
like
is
a
good.
whether it's prison or an insane asylum, we cut in. Now they don't show a face. All we
Yes,
see is a body. Or even say it's just the say he still has those boots. That's
yes,
all we see.
yes.
And
I
and
would
when he
be okay
gets
with that.
out, we see that these people hand him a ghost face mask. He puts it on behind the scene and we zoom in. They go up, all you see is the ghost face mask.
But whoa,
And cuts to saying the Scream title, and we're in, say, the college setting or something. Oh, not college setting, wherever 7 will take place. Sorry, I'm thinking of 6.
ladies and gentlemen, I think I just found my script writer for my fan films. I want to make like, damn, bro, that was good shit. Like honestly,
Hey,
that's how I envision it. I'm sorry, like if you're gonna show that type of scene of the mental asylum or whatever, you cannot show his face. You
no,
like to do it the way you said it in terms of they're just showing his feet. You see the shackle, like you just see the shackles. They take them off. You see his feet. They're walking, whatever, and you see outside. You don't see no upper body of anybody. You don't
nope,
see who's handing him the ghost face mask or nothing. You just see him get handed the ghost face mask. He puts it on, turns around, and then the opening credits.
yep.
Wow, that would be epic. That would be nice. Now you
And that
talk
way, even if it's not Stu, it could say somehow
now you
Angelina or
talk about
something.
an opening scene that would divert from expectations and would be different from previous opening scenes.
And the best thing is, say they don't go the Stu route, say they bring back Angelina, it could still work with her
That too. That is
because
true.
they're not showing a face.
Yeah. And it's much like Craven said, and I caught this too. And I was gonna do a video about it, but I'm touchy feely about videos now that I do when I get my information from Scream's fandom, just because even though it is like a lot of it is like based on a Scream franchise, I have to even keep him. I have to keep in mind myself that it is a page created by fans. So
Hmm.
certain stuff on there that just could be their opinion or their theory. You know what I mean, and stuff like that. But
But I don't
she's
think the
not on
missing.
the deaf. She's not on the deaf list.
Yeah,
She's
but
not.
but I don't think the Stu missing was done by mistake. I think somebody might know something deep down
No, no.
because
I
that
do.
was always set to him as dead, and that
Yeah,
recently just changed. So somebody might know something that we don't
somebody.
even know.
I will say this. Let me ask you this. Do you think, in terms of Stu, right, and even not just Stu, you know what, Sam? Do you think that Gail, Dewey, and Cindy knew about Sam and basically all pretended like to keep it a secret all until it just like the truth came out? Or do you think maybe just Cindy just knew based on a dialogue that we had? about Sam.
I'm going off my theory with Christina Carpenter maybe being best friends and Sydney being the godmother. I think Sydney only knew and she swore to keep it a secret. So Sam wouldn't have to grow up knowing that her father was a serial killer.
That is a really good take, man. That's very, very possible.
Because
It's
the
not
way she
possible at
when
all.
she said to Dewey, "Oh, I'm Billy Loomis's daughter." Oh, that's less of a reason to talk. Like he didn't sound like he knew and was not thrilled
Yeah.
to know that. And Gail, I'm sorry, Gail was always in it really for herself. I think if she knew, she wouldn't have had that shock look.
No, you're right. Yeah, absolutely. Like, and she wouldn't have asked her, "Oh, did you know the sheriff?" Like she would have knew who Sam was. Like at that point, like
Yeah,
she would have known, especially if Dewey would have mentioned to her in the text message or whatever. She would have known who Sam was. That definitely stood out to me. The fact that Cindy knew, but they didn't. So you definitely have a point, though, man. What if Christina Carpenter is really the godmother? You know what I mean? Like of Sam Carpenter, and really Cindy is her mom, and she just entrusted Christina to keep that secret for her. That would be wow. That I actually like that theory a little bit better than my own, honestly, because I think that would make a little bit more sense as opposed to okay, Cindy is Sam's mom, but how does Christina come into the picture? Oh, well, she was so obsessed with Billy Loomis that she just
yeah,
decided to adopt his kid. You know what I mean?
exactly.
It's not a bad take. It's just the whole godmother thing and her being a friend, that is actually a lot more plausible.
Because
That
we
is.
never met Christina before, so it's very well possible before high school they really were best of friends, even
Yeah,
before Tatum came into that role.
that's the truth. That is true. Yeah, that's a hell of a take, Bob. I gotta take a swig of my drink to that.
Yeah, I'll drink to that.
Yeah, like for real, man. That's a hell of a take. I like that. I would be down for that. All right, let's get to more of these comments. Okay. Cat. Oh man. I'm sorry, guys. I'm behind. I know I'm real. I know I'm behind.
Yeah, I mean we kind of went on a whole we went on a whole nother level to from just
Steven, what's going on, buddy? What's going on, man? Thank you for joining, man.
welcome Steven if you're still in here.
Bearded Entertainment, what's going on, buddy? How you doing tonight? Thank you for stopping in.
What's up, bearded?
Okay, let's get some of these comments posted up here. Oh, Shay has an interesting comment. What if Sid's dad had a child by someone else? Nah, I agree with that, Shay. I looked on the bio for Neil Prescott, and this is actually kind of where I came up with my theory as to why Cindy could potentially be Sam's mom. Um, it did say that Sid was Neil's only child, that she like there was no other children underneath his bio. However, it did say three possible grandchildren, not two, three possible grandchildren, which is why I got my hunch and my theory that potentially Cindy could be Samantha's mom.
Which also goes into why I'm saying Christina could be the godmother who swore to keep the secret.
It makes sense. It does. It's starting to that wow. That would be some shit. That would be some real come full circle shit, in all honesty. I like that. I like that a lot. Val says we have a full. I gotta share this. We have a full list of all of Devontae's accounts. I will pass it on to you, Marcus. Please, Val.
Oh,
Thank
pass
you.
them.
I appreciate that.
Oh, definitely pass them so we at least have a heads up on all these fake ones.
Right? Exactly.
Because I can't remember these other names outside Devontae.
Val says the thing that really throws me is why would it be an honor for Amber to kill Dewdrop? I mean, you could say one could reply to that and say, oh, because he is a legacy character, and we all know that they loved the original movie, and Dewey is a legend in Woodsboro, etc. We could, I mean, so it's not impossible to think why Amber would say that to Dewey because just based on those reasons alone. However, Val, I do agree with the fact that it would be more of an honor for Stu to kill Dewey because of the history that they have together. The fact that Stu tried to kill him back in 96 and couldn't complete that mission, and the fact that 20 something years later, 26 years later, he's basically getting it in so many ways to retcon his own work. You know what I mean? It would be an honor to, after all these years, and probably in Stu's mind, never thinking he'd be able to gut somebody up like a fish again. It would be an honor, especially being that it's Dewey, because that holds so much significance because of 1996.
Which
I mean,
also makes sense to have say Stu is the killer because then it comes full circle for Dewey saving Tara when he couldn't save Tatum. So he went out
yes,
dying, saving someone else's sister, unlike he could save Tatum.
yeah, that is true. That is true. I remember seeing that scene, and I kind of got that vibe too, especially when he looked and said, "I do." You know what I mean? Like when he looked, I said, "He." And the fact that they showed Tatum's ashes,
Yep.
I was just like, he did that because he did that basically for Tatum. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like,
I was one of the first ones that kind of brought that up and had people thinking about that because a lot of people were saying, oh, his death was unnecessary. But when you think about it, if Stu did kill him, it came full circle for
it
him.
does. Yes,
And it would also come full circle for Stu, because he got to finish off Tatum's brother now.
that's the truth. That is so true,
And
man.
even if it wasn't him, if we go the whole cult route, which I think they will, it's simple. They're all part of that hive mindset for what he wants. Everyone will take credit, so that way he's not known to be back. So even if it's not him, it could be someone from the cult and just acted like he was Stu.
Yeah, that is true. That is very, very true. I mean, and I think we also should take into account, right? Even though they haven't obviously mentioned it yet, and it's not impossible that they couldn't mention it down the line. If Stu has a sister, who's to say Stu doesn't have another brother?
Yeah. I mean, there was that rumor going around before 5 was coming out that it would be Stu's brother.
Man, there's just so many avenues that you can take from Christina Carpenter's character to Stu Macher's potential character return. Man, I can't wait. This is juicy, man. It's juicy. I can't wait for more official news to come out.
Oh, neither can I.
All right, we're snap. Okay, it's a little mistake there. All right, we're gonna move on to the next character topic. Oh man, Tara's father. Is it Blackmore or is it not? And who the fuck is Rory? So I think the reason why I put these two basically brought these up together is because we all think the Blackmore working title could possibly be Tara's dad. But what if this Rory character, now keep in mind, they don't have a last name for Rory yet, much like it was with Vince Schneider. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? They don't have a last name for this character yet. If this character is going to be in this movie, they do not have a last name for him. He is just known as Rory, which, in my opinion, is a slight little callback to Rory Culkin, who played
Yep.
Charlie in Scream 4. But man, like, what do you take from? All right, so first and foremost, before we get to who is Roy, Tara's father, do you think the working title has something to do with him? Do you think that's his last name?
I think it possibly could be, but also it very well could just be to throw us off from Rory possibly being Tara's father because we don't have a last name for the character of Rory. So what if they want to put Blackmore so we don't catch on to something with a
Yeah,
father figure?
I was thinking about that too. Like when I first saw the name Roy, I said, okay, well, the working title is Blackmore. So what if, just like what they did with Vince Snyder down the road, you know what I mean? What if they just decide to put that last name towards the end when the movie's about to come out, keep us guessing up until a few months ahead of time? And
Yep.
I think that that is very, very possible. Now, I do think it would be very interesting. Or I'll put it this way: what if Roy, right,
Mm-hmm.
is Tara's dad, but his last name isn't Blackmore? Then who and what is Blackmore?
What? Imagine this. Imagine if Blackmore is somehow, if Stu faked his death, imagine if he's going by the last name of Blackmore. It'd be the perfect cover up for him because he wouldn't be going by Stu Mocker. I mean, what idiot would kill himself and then still go off his own name? He'd have to come up with a cover name.
See, this is why I knew this was a good idea to talk to you, Bob. You see, Bob,
Because
Bob, man,
everybody wants to say Blackmore is Tara's father. What better way to uh to take away from that to uh throw it all out there and have Blackmore being Stu in disguise?
that would be incredible. That would make a lot of sense.
Because he's not going to fake his own death and still keep calling himself Stu Mocker. Somebody would catch on.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. And excuse me, let's just say, for the sake of argument, right? If he did fake his death and change his name, it's not impossible. For the simple fact is, everybody believes Stu Macher is dead. You know what I mean? Everybody believes Stu Macher is dead. I mean, at least the real ones know he's alive.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I mean,
But
Stu Mocker is dead,
yeah,
but Stu Mocker isn't.
but Blackmore, it just is his basically his new alias. You know what I mean?
Yep.
You would not be able to find. You would not be worried about finding records for Stu Macher. You know what I mean? You would not have to worry about finding records for Stu Macher because you believe he's dead.
Yep.
But you're not going to be looking up any type of records for Blackmore because you don't know who the fuck is this Blackmore guy is.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that's an incredible take, and I think that that's something that really, in all honesty, I think that we should be paying more attention to as this movie starts to get announced. Is, you know, Roy and Blackmore, are they one and the same, or are they different? You know what I mean? Because in all honesty, if Blackmore isn't Tara's dad, if that's not her dad's last name, shit is going to get really, really interesting.
Yeah.
You know what I
Because,
mean?
I mean, I'm still on the belief that it's possibly Stu in disguise, changing
I,
his
I'm, I'm,
name.
I'm even more leaning towards that with you, man, because if Tara, all right, I'd like to think, now it's not impossible, right? It's not impossible, obviously, for a Hispanic to have basically like an American last name.
No, but usually if it is Hispanic, they'll have that double name.
Yes, exactly. Like you're right, exactly. And
Like, for instance, I know this is technically through marriage, but one of the Hispanic people I know in Hollywood, Alexa Vega, when she got married, she became Alexa Vega Cortez, or
yeah,
or whatever the One
mhm.
Direction guy's name was, or whatever.
No, you're right. Yeah. Wow, man. Bob. Wow. That's a hell of a fucking. That's a hell of a take, man. I didn't even think of that. Honestly, like, wow, I that blew right by my head that that could potentially be a cover name for one Stu Mocker. That's a high possibility there, my friend. And that's a way you can get different from, the cliche. You know what I mean? We all think that this is going to be Tara's dad's last name, and what if it isn't?
Yeah.
You know, and then the cooler thing is it's kind of having like this stream TV series effect on me. Because what if at the end, right? We obviously don't get Stu revealed yet. So we obviously wouldn't know who Blackmore is.
Yep.
Just like at the end of Stream season 2, we don't know who is that, Brandon James or Troy James?
Or is it somebody pretending to be
Or is
one
it
of them?
somebody pretending to be a James?
And then also at the end, we had Kevin Duvall standing at
Yep.
Kieran's grave.
Man, good stuff. Good stuff, Bob.
Yo, imagine if Rory was Kevin Duvall.
Wow.
Imagine if they incorporated seasons 1 and 2 into this new trilogy.
That would be nuts. That would be really, really nuts. That would be crazy. I mean, is it? But really, think about it. Is it impossible? Because look what they did with the Stab movies.
No, it's not. We could have someone from there. What if
What if these?
Blackmore say we could say Emma or even Noah decided they were leaving Lakewood and they went to this New York? What if one of them is at this said college that they go to in 6 as well?
That's not impossible.
I mean, because they did say they want to incorporate the show, and what better way than to at least introduce some of those characters from the original series we like?
Or what they could do, which would be totally different and unexpected, instead of making a new Stab movie, you make Stab the TV series.
Yes, now this goes into one of my thoughts. And at the say you have the whole YouTube thing like they did with Stab 8, we see a trailer. At the very end, we see Noah, Emma, and Brooke promoting it in a podcast.
Nice. Yes, that could work. That could work. That could really, really, really work. That could. Wow, that would be great. In all honesty, and I'm starting to think that I was starting to think that already with how they said they're going to try to subvert our expectations, but also they're going to fuck with our heads. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Is we're all probably thinking, okay, well, what Amber and Richie wanted was obviously a requel of Stab. They wanted a new movie. What if instead of a movie, they get a TV series instead?
Yeah.
It's not impossible to think that. It'd be a way to get different, and it'd be a way to incorporate the TV series into the franchise. I mean, which
Definitely.
I'd be all for that.
Oh, definitely. Definitely.
Got 8 people in the chat here. Thank you guys for supporting, man. Love you guys. Love you guys a lot, man. Support is greatly, greatly appreciated.
Very much. Glad to see everybody in here.
Craven, Craven's in the building, everybody. What's going on, Craven? How you doing, my man? Thanks for stopping in, man. Always a great time when Craven's around. You guys know it. Carrie Crave Cinema is here too. What's going on, Carrie? How you doing, girl?
Hope all is well.
What about Bob? Hello, everyone. That's great. Oh man,
gotta love Care Bear.
Oh, what's funny is like I said, how I was talking to you behind the scenes, Bob, about putting my once I get my whole internet upgraded and all that stuff, I'm gonna reset my background or whatever. Like how you click off the stream for a couple seconds just in case you got to take a break or something, or your background or whatever. I'm gonna do me an overlay or whatever, and I'm gonna try to use this app that I found or whatever and stuff like that. I'm gonna basically reimagine just a picture of me in the Ghost of Mars outfit, basically, or whatever, with the face paint and everything and all that. And I'm just gonna be reaching out like he is or whatever and stuff like that. That would be pretty tough. I thought about that.
That gave me an idea. I'm gonna buy a Brandon James costume.
Nice.
Nice. Just to annoy the Scream TV series haters.
Nice. Uh-oh, Craven. My man, Craven. I shot him 6 times. Are you and Bob recovering well from Friday night? Ha 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 ha. I think it's safe to say we are doing okay, Craven. I
Yeah,
think it's safe to
especially
say
since
we're
I didn't
okay.
have a hangover that the next morning. I'd say yeah.
We are living to tell about it, buddy. We are living to tell about that legendary night for sure.
Yeah, if we
Definitely. I was telling Bob, I said it was so funny because, like I told you guys, I had to be to work at 10
yeah.
o'clock that morning. I literally woke up at 10, like I took a couple hours of sleep. Literally woke up at 10 o'clock, and I'm just like, I don't want to do this shit. But I ended up going anyway, and ended up
Yeah.
going in, pulling the full shift, and we rocked through it. So it actually, I ain't gonna lie. Once I started working and started, loosening up and stuff, I actually didn't feel as bad as I thought I would. So yes, Craven, to answer your question, I think it's safe to say we're okay.
Yes.
It was
Yes, we
definitely an
are.
epic night. Carrie, oh, I had a hangover. Oh, Carrie, we know you had a hangover. We know
No,
you did.
no question on that one. Hang on, I'm gonna be right back.
All right, buddy. Yeah, take a break for a second if you have to. Yeah, no doubt. Holy shit, it's Ghostface. I know that's right, Carrie.
Yeah,
I know that's right.
we gotta get ourselves a little clip of that of one of us saying that. So every time Ghostface comes in,
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. I would be down. Yeah, definitely. I would be
definitely.
definitely down for that. Definitely. Now, if you guys are just tuning in, I mentioned it about, I want to say probably what, maybe about an hour, half an hour to an hour ago or whatever. I did reach out to Nancy Ann Ritter. Hopefully, she emails me back. I'm going to try to get her here on the channel. I did hear on Craven's stream that she said she'd be down to do more interviews and, do more conversations, whatever. So I reached out. We're going to try to see if we can get Nancy Ann Ritter here on the channel and, bust it up with Nancy, as well as I also sent an email out to Megan Follow's agent. Megan Follows is who played Jane Koslow, Marty Koslow's sister in Silver Bullet. I reached out to her agent. Hopefully he gets back to me in the email, and hopefully we can set up a future live stream interview with Megan Follows as well. So I'm going to start lining up some interviews to try to see what we can get here, guys. And as well as I also have one more person in my. I mean, I have a couple interviews, like interview, etc. But I do have one person I'm not going to tell you guys about. I'm going to reach out to the person. If I get rejected or whatever, then I'll tell you who it was. You know what I mean? But I'm going to do my due diligence. I'm not going to tell you guys because I want it to be a surprise if this person says yes. You know what I mean? So just stay tuned. I'll have further announcements down the road and stuff like that. But yeah, you know what I mean? Trying to definitely get some interviews on here on this channel for sure.
Yeah, that'll be my goal too. One of these days.
Oh, absolutely. Listen, Craven paved the way, man. Honestly, you know what I mean.
Yeah,
He
he
paved
really
the way,
did.
like you know what I mean. He put the blueprint out there. Look, just just go for it. You know what I mean. The worst they could do is say no.
Exactly.
That's it. The worst they could do is say no. It's not. Hey, at least you can say you tried. You didn't. You went down swinging.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like
But I'm never
so.
gonna say who I have intentions. But if anybody knows me, knows there is one person at the very end I definitely want, and it's not who y'all think it is either.
Uh oh.
But it
Uh
is
oh.
someone from the Halloween franchise.
Uh-oh. Well, yeah, definitely keep that a secret, Bob. Definitely. Because I would want it to be a secret because I would want it to be a surprise.
But I will say this: one of them will be Bucky. I'm
Nice.
gonna try to find Bucky.
Bucky. Bucky. Nice. Gotta get Bucky. Yes, we definitely gotta get Bucky, man. Like you definitely gotta get Bucky, Bob. If you can make that happen, I'm there. I'm there all day for it, buddy. I will be there in
Oh,
your
you
chat
ain't gonna
box.
have to just be there. I'm gonna make sure you're on it so you can
What?
talk
I
with Bucky.
appreciate that, buddy. Definitely. I appreciate that because yeah, I would love to talk to Bucky too. Yeah, Bucky's that dude. Hey, you! It's private property. No trespassing. You deaf? Play that Halloween shit with me. I'm on the phone to the police right now. Don't you even think about moving. That part made me laugh so much because it's like he really thought that Michael was just going to stand there and not do
Yeah.
nothing.
Hey, Craven, you know what? While you're in here, you might be the conductor of the stew train, but me and Marcus, we are conductors of getting Bucky and Halloween ends.
Yes, yes, I can agree with that. Yes, yes. We're gonna have to start up the Bucky train. You know what? You know what? No, because then that would kind of be. I don't want to kind of rip off what Craven got. You
Oh,
know what I
yeah.
mean? I'm gonna say what the Bucky Tower, the Bucky wagon. What? What do you want to do, man?
Bucky electricity.
Okay,
Because he did get killed with
we'll
the
give him a
electricity.
van. We'll give him a van.
Yeah,
We,
the
we get
Bucky van.
The Bucky van. Yeah, there we go. The Bucky van. Let's do it. The Bucky van. It is official. Yes, it is official. Let's fire that bad boy up.
Now,
Let's
every
do it.
Halloween, we have to have Bucky back. If he doesn't come in ends.
And I'm telling and listen, how we got to do it, right? As I'm all right, so now see now I got my gears grinding. So now what I'm gonna do is now I'm gonna look for a graphic of a van or whatever. And now I'm gonna hook it up, put Bucky's, electricity or whatever on it. But I'm gonna make sure it has fire spitting out of it. So fire
Yes.
spitting out spitting out the back, so it seems like it's one of them old school rust buckets. The
Yes.
backfire. Make sure it has some backfire on it.
Yes. Love it.
Yes, that is right. Yes, the Bucky van. That's right, Craven. Hashtag Bucky van. Let's go. Let's go. Love it. Hell yes. Let's do it. Ghostface Fanatic says, I'm the conductor of the Jill's Dead train. That's fucking great. Yeah, I listen, Ghostface, honestly, I mean, I just think that that's just too much electrical power for her to, you know, survive that. It's not like it was Stu where it was a quick couple sparks and then it stopped. You know what I mean? That was just like full on like contact electroshock therapy. Like, so I'm kind of in agreement with you. You know what I mean? Do I wish Jill is still alive? Yeah, I do. You know what I mean? Because I love Jill. You know what I mean? Like Jill was great. Like I wish we would have got Jill. I wish we would have got Jill in Scream 5 more than we did in Scream 4. No, honestly, I think the Jill character, I'm put it this way. I think Jill would have been a better sidekick to Richie than Amber, in my opinion. Carrie Crave Cinema. Oh, girl, you're going to do that? You're going to hook me up? I can make a graphic for you, Ghosty. Oh, yeah? All right. I appreciate that, Carrie. Yeah, definitely hit me up on IG. We'll collaborate for sure. We can definitely do that because I definitely want to put that together.
Yeah, that'll be a good idea.
Hell yeah, fire up that Bucky van. Like I said, we got to have the backfire coming out of it.
Yeah.
Oh man, good old Bucky. Oh man, gotta love Bucky. You gotta love Bucky just for the effort, man.
Oh my
You
God,
tried.
Shay. Oh my God, Shay.
What did she say? Hold on, I'm seeing it. Hold on. Thought you were saying F you, Van. I was like, what? Well, for all that, Shay, I would just for all that, I would just put the shaggin' wagon on.
Yeah.
The shaggin' wagon. Like if I was gonna, make a van, into a fuckfest van, I'm labeling it the shaggin' wagon, no doubt. You know what I mean?
Definitely.
And I'm telling you like this: every time I try to pull over a hot chick and try to talk to her, I'm gonna be like, "Yeah, baby, let's get groovy." Every single time, every time, every single time.
Definitely.
Hell yeah! Gotta
Snap into
love
that
all
Slim Jim.
Yeah, yeah. You gotta snap into a Slim Jim. You know what I mean? You gotta snap into a Slim Jim. It's very spicy too. Very, very spicy. The Macho Man. Yeah. Fucking Macho Man. Man, I miss him.
The
Damn.
same.
He was that dude, man. He was great.
Yeah, it's sad. Imagine if we could have got him as an interview on this channel.
Oh my god. Wow. Could you imagine having him on the channel in an interview and we're all doing the Macho Man voice, all of us at the same time?
Oh my
Like
god.
that would be so fun. Oh my god. Oh man, you know what? I'm gonna take a gamble.
Ooh.
I'm gonna take a gamble because see, I mean, this is I mean, obviously, it's a horror movie channel, but one thing that I've come to learn is that horror movies and wrestling go hand in hand.
Yeah, look at The Undertaker.
I saw
Kane.
not only that, I saw multiple wrestlers at the cons, like at
Yeah.
horror cons and all that stuff. I'm gonna try to do it because I've always wanted to do it before he passes. And I know it's a long shot, but hey, you don't know if you don't try. I'm gunning for Nature Boy.
Go for it.
I'm gunning for Nature Boy. I'm gunning for Nature Boy. We got to get Nature Boy Ric Flair on this channel, and we got to ask Nature Boy Ric Flair, "What's your favorite scary movie?"
You know what? If he goes back to doing cameos, I might just pay Roger L. Jackson to do that just for that streak. If we get Ric Flair. So you could play that clip to him. So it is the
Yes,
real Ghostface.
yes, yes, hell yes. That would be so lit. Wow, man. I'm gonna send out an email. I'm going to. I'm going for it. I'm gonna find out who his agent is. I'm gonna send him an email. Be like, look, I'm on a horror movie channel on YouTube. You know, just trying to work my way up. In this content creating field. It would be such an honor to have Ric Flair come on the show. I don't have a big following just yet, but if you could possibly make that happen, it would be such a big deal. You know what I mean? And the reason why I think it could work is because Rick, especially in his later years, has been really open to doing interviews and podcasts and all
Yep.
that stuff. So, yeah, I'm gunning. That's right, Carrie. Fire to woo. That's right. That's right. That's right, Carrie. Woo! Love me some Nature Boy Ric Flair, man. I got yeah.
Oh hell yeah.
See, I want to be able to do. See, I have to do it. You know what I mean? When it's more daytime because I have neighbors. You know what I mean? And
Yeah, that's why I'm trying
I'll
to.
be honest. I get up on it when I do it. If I'm gonna do the hell yeah of Stone Cold, I got to do it right. You know what I mean? So
Yeah, I
I'm
know.
gonna save that. I'm gonna save that. You know what I mean and stuff.
Hey, I'm
But
just
yeah.
giving a small taste.
Oh hell yeah, appreciate it, Bob. Definitely, definitely. Yo, that's Stone Cold Steve Austin. That's right. That is right. What?
I shot
What?
him 6 times.
What?
I shot him in the heart.
What?
I tell you, he's not human.
What? 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 Love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. Yes. I definitely gotta. Yeah, I definitely got to get that Macho Man video out too because I just bought my Slim Jims too. So yeah, it's going down. But what I want to do or whatever is I don't just want it to be me just doing the impersonation. And I'm basically what I'm going to do is I'm probably going to cut out like a picture of Macho Man, like dude, like take the outline of a picture of him and then just implement my face over his and then do the voiceover that way because I want to have the hair. I want to have the hair and I want to have the shades. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? So I
yeah.
want to do it right.
Talking about Macho Man and that though, there's this one mod in Fallout 4 where it replaces the normal Deathclaw with Randy Savage, and they have him doing the different voices.
Yes, yes, that would be great. Fucking right. Yes, yeah, I definitely got to get that. I got to get that video out there. I got to finish that. Yes, but now let's move on to the next topic. We're slipping a little bit.
Yeah,
I mean,
we went off the rails, but you know
yeah,
what?
we
It's
did,
good
guys. It's
but it's
okay.
good entertainment for the
It
people.
is good entertainment, and you gotta love the community you have. You know what I mean, and stuff. These guys, they're still rolling with us. You know what I mean. They're rolling along with us. Whatever we're talking about, they're actually keeping up. So got to show
Yeah,
them love. You know what I mean? Definitely
yeah, exactly. We've
appreciate
got
you
to
guys
go off
showing up for the
topic
stream.
sometimes.
Oh, absolutely. That's how you got to keep the stream going. In all honesty, you know what I mean. Keep got to add a little bit extra. What do you call it? Content to the stream. Got to add more than what I say I'm going to give you.
Got to
I'm just
add
giving
some
you
more of that
that
flair, if you know
bonus
what I
that
mean.
bonus material.
Some of that extra flair.
Yeah, right. Yeah, there you go, Bob. See, yeah, woo. Let's go. That's right. But yeah, much love to everybody in the chat. We got 9 people here. Thank you guys for showing up. In all honesty, I mean, 9 people don't seem like a lot, but you know what? It's a lot to me. It means a
Yeah,
lot.
it's
That
a
means
lot to me
you
too.
guys. That means you guys, like me enough to come hang out with me and Bob and talk about whatever. In all honesty, I mean, mainly we're talking about Scream 6, but we will go off and veer off about talk about other topics as well. You know what I mean? So thank you
Or
guys for
go
keeping
or
up and
go
sticking
really
around.
off the wall and forget that there's a chat and just talk about our own theories for an hour.
Yeah, right. That's right. All right, so Hank Loomis. I really would like to see this character come back in this franchise. I'm worried that we are not going to get a Loomis reference for some reason, or at least a cameo, anything. I could be wrong. However, I don't know. I've even tried to look up like what is it, John P. Morgan or John C. Morgan, whatever his name is.
Something
The
like that.
yeah, it's something like that. Who the actor who plays Hank Loomis, and he doesn't have a lot. Like he doesn't. It's not
No.
been a lot of information on him. Like I don't even know when's the last time he's done a movie. Like you know what I mean? Like it's crazy. Like
Yeah.
I've tried looking him up on IMDb Pro. There's just not much there to go on. Now, could obviously things change? Yeah. You know what I mean? But I'm worried that this character might not be brought back, but I really hope he does get brought back because he's obviously significant. He's Samantha
Mm-hmm.
Carpenter's, grandfather, as
Yeah,
well as I want to know what he's been up to all these years since 96. How did the events, I think what a lot of people aren't taking into account with Hank is how did the events of 96 with Billy affect him afterwards?
Yeah, I think this could, if they do bring him back, this would be the perfect time to have a true redemption arc for someone who was a sleazy character. That because we know he was a sleazy lawyer and everything.
Oh, yeah, he was a
And I
dirtball.
think with everything with that happened with Billy, maybe opened his eyes to realizing what he was doing was wrong. What if he found something out? Say later on, say Billy even had a diary or something, and he wrote down like, "Oh, we'll pin this all on my father." Because he'll get us out of it.
Yeah, that
And
is true.
and we could have a true redemption arc where he wants to take Samantha in and show support in that sense.
What if Hank Loomis represented Stu Macher?
What if he got the will? What if he was at the morgue and they faked his death?
It's not impossible, man. I said it. I'll say it again, and I'll go back to it. The Maniac Cop theory.
Yeah,
Every time I watch that movie, I said you can do that with Stu Macher's character. You can
easily.
easily, very easily. And now we're talking about Hank Loomis. The fact that he was a lawyer, it's not impossible to think. And the Mockers had money. And think about it like this: the Mockers could have went to Hank Loomis and
Yeah,
said, "We want you to represent Stu." Hank probably looked at them like, "You're out of your mind. You're crazy." They're looking at him like, one, we got the capital, and two, we're not alone in this. This isn't just our son. Your son did this too. Your son got us into this. So in so many ways, you owe us. You know what I mean? What if they knew
yeah,
about some shit? Maybe they knew about some of his shady dealings, being a bad lawyer or something else, some other secrets Hank had. They could have hung over his head.
yeah,
Anything, you know. But just there's so many avenues you could take with the Hank Loomis character because of the events in '96. The fact that he has a granddaughter now. I also want to see that interaction. I want to see Sam meet him, and I want to see how he reacts to her. What do you think, Bob?
like I said, I kind of would like maybe because Hank would be a lot older. Older, you could easily go the redemption route. Maybe he saw what he did in the end was wrong because after he lost his wife, realizing his wife went just as mental. Maybe he doesn't want the same for Sam. Maybe he does want her to lay off that lineage because he's tired of because say he got kicked out of Woodsboro, he doesn't want the same for her, so she has to live that life of being an outcast.
That's true. That is true. I would hope that if we do get the Hank Loomis character back, I would want him to be different. I would want him to be more compassionate, being that he is older, he is wiser. You know what I mean? And the fact that he does have a granddaughter, and I would want him to not want her to have that life or suffer the same fate that Billy did.
Yeah,
You know
because
what I
he
mean?
could, because if he got kicked out of Woodsboro, for instance, because it won't take place in Woodsboro, you could still have them show up wherever they do go, and he'd be a predominant part in a sense.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Because the Sam dynamic alone, literally Hank Loomis and maybe Tara's dad, because of the background and the backstory, they are like the only two returning characters that could literally pop up and without, I mean, they already kind of have their explanation to why they're popping up. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So like it wouldn't need to be much explained. It wouldn't be need to be like, oh wait, why is he here? What you know what I mean? Well, Tara's dad's here because he misses her and he finally wanted to see her. And Hank Loomis realized he had a granddaughter and wanted to see her.
yeah, because I would imagine after the events of 5, it would be on the news, and Gale would definitely be covering it. If we saw from Dewey's TV, they get wherever she is broadcasting from.
Mm-hmm. That
So
is
it
true.
could make sense that we would see Hank being wherever they're at. And he goes and finds Sam. And
Yeah,
maybe he could be that red herring. Everybody thinks, oh, it's this legacy character because, hey, that's Billy's dad, and it was also Mrs. Loomis's husband at one point. He could have just snapped as well.
yeah, absolutely.
So he could easily be put as a red herring in the film.
Easily, real easily. I would like to say, just based on his background alone, he's a automatic red herring.
Oh, definitely.
We're talking about a guy who is potentially the father of Roman Bridger. Potentially. Like, if we go back to the old, like, if we're going back to the old Scream, we know that Hank Loomis was a lawyer in Sunrise Studios.
Yep.
You know what I mean? It's not impossible to think that not only was he the father of Roman Bridger, think about this, he followed her back to Woodsboro.
Yeah. And also think about it. That would also mean it would have easy connection to tying why Roman would easily be able to find Billy to set up the events from Scream to Scream 3.
Exactly. Exactly. And how wild would that be if that was ever revealed? That that basically in all essentially, you know what I mean? In so many ways, basically, Cindy and Billy would share the same brother.
Oh my god.
That would
That
be
would
freaking nuts.
that
That
would
would be
be
nuts.
yeah, it would be.
Like that's not impossible. And I honestly think that Hank Loomis is the father of Roman Bridger. I've always felt that ever since I found out that he was a lawyer at Sunrise Studios.
Yep.
It's too coincidental that he knew Maureen. He had to have known Maureen because I'm all but certain he was representing her as a lawyer for the actresses and all the actors in Sunrise.
Yep.
So they hooked up then. They met and hooked up then in Hollywood. She leaves after having Roman, who's to say who's to say if they both, because he had the money, you know what I mean, pay for the adoption.
Very well
Anything's
possible.
anything's possible with this character. Like this character, in my opinion, has because and we always talk about it. You know what I mean? And a lot of you in the chat are probably like, "Oh, well, how would this all tie in to today's events? How would it tie into the past?" Because remember, everything goes back to the original.
Yeah, everything goes back somehow to Maureen in a way.
Yes, everything always goes back to the original and the original story. So it would not be surprising if, in all honesty, Hank Loomis would be found out as Roman Bridger's father. I mean, it's just too coincidental in the Scream universe that he was in Sunrise Studios. You know what I mean? The same time she was, literally the same time she was. Then years later, they start having an affair in Woodsboro. Like, and then on top of that, she knows that that's her boyfriend's, she knows that's her daughter's boyfriend's father. Like, I just feel like you're not just going to up and do that unless you already had a connection with that person.
And when you think about it, even the TV show kind of delved into that. I mean,
Mhm.
not to that extent, but when you look at how Emma's mother was dating the one sheriff who was also Kieran's father.
Yeah,
So it has a lot of
yeah.
ties in with the TV show that nobody wants to admit. There were a lot of it made it Scream feel like.
Oh no, you're right. Yeah, absolutely.
I
That
mean,
is
yeah,
true.
I
Yeah,
mean
that,
the
yeah, because
mask
the
was
sheriff and the
different and
mom. Yeah, the sheriff
everything.
and the mom were banging out. Yeah.
Meanwhile, Emma was banging Kieran.
Yeah, that is, yeah. Wow. Perfect homage to Scream. Perfect, because that's exactly how it was.
Yeah,
Yeah, like this character, like I just feel like with the Sam dynamic and with the dynamic and the ties to the past, and a lot of information that haven't really got 100%. He's another character that, just like Christina Carpenter, much like Christina Carpenter, Hank Loomis holds a lot of keys to a lot of secrets. You know what I
yep.
mean? So I really would love to see Hank Loomis back. My water. I would like to see Hank Loomis back. I think that I know that I want to see his character development. I want to see how has he matured? Is he still a slime ball, or is he somebody completely different from what we know? But also, are we going to get some secrets, some skeletons coming out the closet with this character?
What I think is I definitely would like to see a change where he becomes changed maybe after the whole thing with Roman. I mean, maybe he realized that because all three of his family members were freaking crazy. Maybe he realized what he got himself into was wrong. Maybe he felt repentance for it. Because that's, mind you, his own son, then his ex wife, and then his other son.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that would
Yeah.
drive anybody to a breaking
Well,
point.
and he lost it all. He really lost it all because not only that, I mean, I'd like to think Hank was in love with Maureen. That's why he kept. I think he was in love with Maureen.
Yeah, I think personally that maybe Neil was going to be out of the picture sooner or later. I think Maureen did want to leave him, and I don't think Hank wanted Maureen dead. But I think it's very well possible when Roman was stalking Maureen, he overheard something like Hank wanted to leave and be with her, and that's why he went to Billy,
Mm-hmm.
and Billy was
That's
going to use him to get off, and once he got off, he was going to kill his own father.
That's true. That's not impossible to think at all. There are so many layers that we haven't even unpeeled yet, in all honesty, especially when it comes to Hank Loomis. Like, guys, anybody in the chat, if you don't like know the exclusive like backstory of Hank Loomis's character, like go check it out. Like, yeah, it's a lot of shit that you can theorize off this character. You know what I mean? Like, just the fact that he was a lawyer in Sunrise Studio the same time with Maureen Prescott. It's just too many coincidental clues. And I think that if done and executed properly, you can bring that into this new Scream 6 or possibly Scream 7 and make it work and tie it all in, not just with the new generation, obviously, in terms of Samantha Carpenter, but while also acknowledging that things in the past that, once again, like Randy said in part three, everything you thought that was true isn't true.
Yes, it's possible that maybe Sam isn't even Billy's daughter.
That's possible too.
I mean, maybe her mother was just so obsessed with Billy she wanted to say it was his.
How fucked up would that be? You put your fucking child through all that just because you was obsessed over
Yeah,
something. Just
but
because you
there
were,
are but there are
just because you.
people out there
Oh,
that
you're right.
are that obsessed. I mean, it's
Yeah, you're right.
possible.
She got obsessed over the dingaling like that and then put her own child at risk. That's a damn shame. You know something? But hey, that like you said, it's not impossible. Like, I've seen, parents like basically give up their kids for their spouse, like for their companion. You know what I mean, and stuff
Yeah.
like that. So that's definitely not impossible. Definitely not at all. We got 11 people in the chat, guys. Thank you guys for showing up. I greatly appreciate you guys.
Yeah. Make
Honestly,
sure you use them tentacles to hit that thumbs up if you
yeah.
haven't yet.
Yes, and I said it earlier, and I'm not asking for much, but guys, let's get up to try to get this stream up to 20 likes. The support is greatly, greatly appreciated. Just 20 likes is all I want. If we get more than that, that's obviously even better. But just 20 likes, you know what I mean? We'll settle at 20 likes. That would be greatly appreciated of that. Let's look at some of these comments. I want to catch up.
Yeah, I think we're well behind now.
Oh yeah, we're way behind. Oh, this is an interesting question by Shay. Do you think Hank had something to do with Marine's death? Honestly, Shay, me personally, no. I think Hank was in love with Marine. I think that he's been in love with Marine since the Sunrise Studios days. I think that he obviously was going to leave his wife. And much like Bob said, there was a possibility that Marine was going to leave Neil Prescott. You know what I mean? So, no, I don't think. Well, I mean, obviously, Hank really did have something to do with Marine's death because if it wasn't for Hank screwing around with Marine, none of this would have ever happened.
Yeah, and if Marine didn't go around screwing out in
So,
Hollywood,
I mean,
none of this ever would have.
so yeah, really, in essence, yes. But in terms of him actually having a part in her murder, no. I think he was in love with Marine.
Yeah,
In all
I think
honesty,
he was devastated when she died personally, even though we never saw the outcome of it, of anybody's reaction.
yeah. Haunted by horror. Maybe Rory is Rory Culkin. He's coming back for a second chance with Kirby. Just kidding.
Well, hey, technically, if any Ghostface other than Stu were to possibly live, you could make an argument for Charlie. You really could.
That is true because she only stabbed him, right?
Yeah, and plus he was never shot in the head for that final scare. He only got stabbed. So it
Mm,
is, but I think that's too obvious. I don't think they're going to set that up where it's that.
yeah, I mean, yeah, but man, that that's interesting though. Like Charlie still possibly being alive. I know a lot of people probably wouldn't like that or really like. I know a lot of people in the Scream universe don't care for Charlie so much.
Yeah, that's
You
what
know what
I'm
I mean?
saying. I
But
don't know if Radio Silence would do that, but you could make an argument that
yeah,
Charlie could be alive.
that no, I agree with you because yeah, the way he was killed, killed, you know what I mean? Stabbed. What she stabbed him once. Now I'm trying to play
Yeah,
back that scene.
yeah, I
She
don't even
stabbed him
remember.
once, and that was it.
Yeah,
Like yeah, so yeah, and he didn't get shot in the head like you said. Yeah, and then after she did what she did to Cindy, yeah, she just started fucking herself up.
yeah, she didn't
So
even go back to him
he
to
didn't
make
even go
sure he
back
was
and
dead.
try to finish Charlie off or nothing. Wow, that's very very interesting, man. That's a good catch. I didn't even catch that. Wow.
I mean, I don't think Radio Silence would because they probably know a lot of people hate Charlie. But personally, I wouldn't mind it because now he'd be older. He'd be a lot different than the Charlie we saw in 4.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Now I'll ask you this. Do you think let's just throw it out the wall there. You know what I mean? If Charlie the character of Charlie were to come back, do you think he tried to be a Ghostface killer again, or do you think he cleaned up his life and like he just literally got away with essentially murder that nobody knows about? Like, because
That's an interesting
people
one.
keep in mind at the end of the movie, especially all the reporters were talking about was Jill Roberts, Jill Roberts, Jill Roberts, Jill Roberts. Like they didn't mention anything about I mean, granted, because she was like supposed to be the final girl, but you didn't
Yeah.
hear nothing about the killers, nothing.
No, that's an interesting point. Maybe afterward, maybe he ended up going on this dreaded site and joining the cult. Because he
That's
felt so betrayed by Jill that he wanted to do something bigger himself, and maybe Stu kind of did that whole hive mindset to him and manipulated him just like Jill manipulated him. Because Because think about it, Stu and Jill kind of were able to could easily manipulate other people.
Oh yeah,
So it would.
absolutely. They,
So
in all honesty, I think they did a good job in so many ways manipulating, the people around them. You know what I
yeah,
mean? Like you really thought that Charlie was like that Randy-ish, like he's never gonna get the girl, no matter how much he tries. You know what I
yep,
mean? You thought Jill was like basically the next Cindy. Oh, this is Cindy's cousin. If if they actually do the unthinkable and kill Cindy, well, now we have the next Cindy next in line. And then they did a really good job of, blowing smoke up her ass.
yeah.
Like they did a really good job with that.
But I'm going to say this: I was disappointed with the marketing of four, and I think we could have gotten a lot more out of Jill, Kirby, and even Charlie if they could have gone a route where. I'm not saying kill off Sydney, but you could have easily had her get like attacked so brutally she had memory loss and couldn't remember who was the killer.
That would have been something different. That would have been
Because
something unique.
instead of having Jill throwing herself around all crazy, you could have had Charlie and her kind of like taking things and beating the hell out of Sydney just to give her a concussion to make her forget. And then they could act like, oh, well, we were the lone survivors. Sydney went crazy.
Much kind of like basically kind of it's not the same type of plan, but basically the plan to be in the sequel like Stu and Billy. The plan to
Yeah.
be in the sequel. I get that. Okay, so Craven says Hank Loomis should return to be a good grandfather type character towards Sam to actually be there for her now and to work on the relationship. No, I agree with that.
Yeah.
I mean, I would love to see that character art for Hank Loomis, especially after all the years of being a grindball. I would love that.
Yeah, because we could have him repent, especially after Billy goes mentally nuts. Mrs. Loomis went mental.
Yeah,
And then his other son Roman went mental.
yeah,
And then he finds out that Roman had planted and Billy killed his own
yeah.
love.
And Sam goes through the same issue. Like she's going through the same psychotic tendencies, the same issues, thoughts, psychotic thoughts, hallucinations of Billy. You know what I mean? So yeah, I would like to see that too, Craven. I think after all the shady shit that Hank has done throughout the years, it's time for this old man to settle down and calm down and just embrace that like you have a granddaughter now. There has already been so much chaos that has been done with this story. Just be a grandfather, man, and try to love your grandkid. You know what I mean? Have a relationship with her. Do I think that Hank eventually, if I think Hank will be killed eventually, do I think it will be six? I don't think it will be six. I think it will be seven if he is killed, if he's introduced in six anyway.
Yeah.
You know
No,
what I mean?
I fully agree. If he's introduced in six, I see him going out in seven.
Yes.
But
Yes,
also, it's time
absolutely.
we do get a redemption arc for someone in a Scream franchise. Because
Yeah.
everyone always gets that revenge and then they turn evil. It's about time someone at least has their own good ending outside of Sydney.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. Well, the only one I would say the only ones outside of Dewey and Gale, obviously, the only ones who really truly got that moment was Cotton Weary in part two. When
Yeah.
Sid, told the reporters, "Hey, talk to Cotton. He's the hero." Because in all honesty,
Yeah.
that springboarded Cotton's career. You know what I mean, and stuff like that in Hollywood.
Yeah.
100% Cotton. You know, that blew him up. No,
Yeah.
now just to veer off real quick though, or whatever. Now I was thinking about something. I wanted to share this with you. Speaking
Okay.
of Cotton Weary, what if for Courtney Cox, for Gail Weathers, right? Being that she's this morning talk show host, much like Cotton was in Scream 3, what if
Yeah.
she's the opening kill? What if she is the opening kill and they kind of do a reimagining of how Scream 3's opening kill was just this time with Gail Weathers? Like,
Per- Part of
do
me
I
was
like it? Do I like it so much? Not really. But it's just a thought that creeped into my head. It's just a thought that creeped into my head, given the whole morning talk show angle and all that.
it would be interesting, but I feel like that would, on top of, I, I don't know. I don't personally see that working in my head because I feel that would really do her own character really dirty not to have a fair fighting chance after she's kind of had the same life that Sydney had. I don't really see her dying in that sense. Now, if you want to go, maybe she's somewhere in the middle or third act. She's the first in that one of those two acts. I'd be down for that. But to be the first kill, I feel that would just do Gale itself dirty.
Oh, I agree. I totally agree with that. I wouldn't like it, but think about the reaction that people got when Cotton got killed. There was a lot of people that wasn't happy Cotton got killed at the beginning of the movie, neither.
Yeah, that's
What if
true.
and there was shock value behind that.
Oh, it
So
definitely would be shock value, but
that's what I'm saying. So, like, it would not surprise me in order to get different and to piss people off and to get people talking, much like they did with Dewey. You know what I mean? It wouldn't surprise me if they did that. Do I hope they're going to do that? No, don't don't do that to Gail. She deserves better.
yeah,
But is it
but
impossible to think that that's a scene, a reimagining type scene we could have? No, it's not. I think it's a possible it's a possible thing to think about.
yeah, but on top of that, you know what else would make a lot of fans pissed off at it? Imagine if Martha Meeks was the opening kill. That would set everyone off.
Mm, yeah, that they better not kill Heather Mazzarato in the opening scene.
No,
They have to find
I
somebody.
want
They
her to
have to
be
find somebody who's expendable.
personally, I want her to be in the third act of this film, get more screen time, and say Chad gets attacked again, and we see her at that toward that very end, like the last like 10 minutes,
Hmm.
her just joining in with like Sam, Tara, Sydney,
Oh,
it-
that would be
and
gully.
they all just start beating the
Yes,
hell out of whoever is
that
Ghostface.
would be cool to see Martha get hers in because of obviously her kids getting attacked, but obviously because of Randy, her brother. You know what I mean? That would be a nice that would be a nice thing for Martha
Yeah,
to
but
be a
no,
part of.
but there is one other part, and at the end they unmask it, and we find out that Mindy was the third killer in five.
Hmm. Man, that'd be a nice twist. That would be.
Because a lot of
I
people,
don't. Me personally, I don't want Mindy to be the killer. Would I
oh,
be
I
mad?
don't either. I'm just going off
But
how I see a lot of other people saying, "Oh, Mindy is a third
that's
killer."
that's if for the sake of argument, Mindy is the third killer. That wouldn't be a bad way to like reveal it at all. Honestly, you have her mother, her brother, and her friends beating the shit out of her.
Yeah,
Like, you know what I mean? And then it's like, oh, take the mask off, and it's Mindy. Like, oh shit, you know what I mean? Like
yeah,
that would be pretty different.
yeah.
And actually, now I'm thinking about it, if Mindy was to be the killer, I wouldn't mind it if it was done that way.
I mean, it's something I was thinking because I see a lot of people saying, "Oh, I want Mindy to be the killer," and I'm
Yeah, I see
thinking,
that, a lot of that too.
and I'm thinking, you know what? Let's not have two reveals. Mid, say toward the at the very end of Act Two, one Ghostface dies, which would then leave one. But they have to shoot it realistically where it would be like one for the last act. But
Yes.
that person does not reveal like you typically see. They reveal after the person's dead. They just rip the mask off when their person's dead.
Yeah. That's
Because that would give more shock factor than anything. Because we get those normal reveals while they're still alive.
still alive. Yeah.
I think it'd
If
be
they're
more
dead
interesting
this
to.
time, that would be something different that we haven't seen before, and that could definitely work. Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't have
Something
to
like that.
necessarily be Mindy. I'm just giving a suggestion with doing something like that per se.
Yeah. But I actually like that idea for Mindy if she is going to be the killer. Like you have everybody basically attacking her, trying to stop her, beating her up. Then her mom enters the fray. You got her brother there, and then they go to take the mask off, and it's Mindy. Like I think that if Mindy was going to be the killer, that would be a pretty cool way to reveal it, especially if she's already dead.
Yeah,
Like that would be pretty cool.
because all the other Ghostface reveals were while they were alive.
Yeah, you're right. Carrie says they haven't really built anything around Hank, unfortunately, but I would have loved to see more of him. I think we are heading to get more of Hank. Carrie, it's just all about, much like what Bob said, like Craven says, like will we get that type of Hank Loomis that's actually going to be a grandfather figure? Is he going to be decent? Is he going to be more wise? You know what I mean? Now that he's older and all this chaos has happened, so maybe he doesn't want to, have any more chaos in his life. I hope we get more Hank Loomis too, but I also hope we get this character in a way to where he has kind of learned for his douchey ways, in all honesty.
Yeah, because we outside of Cotton, we haven't gotten really a redemption.
Yeah. Hunter Bahara say, yeah, Cotton didn't get a lot of screen time in any of those movies. It would have been interesting to see him more in 3. Yeah, I agree. I
Yeah.
was really, really shocked when Cotton got killed. You know what I mean? Like, I was really, really shocked when Cotton got killed in the beginning of 3.
Oh, same here.
Mindy being passed out for the entire third act from a shoulder stab wound. Super sus. It's craving something scary. No, that I agree with that. You know what else? And we're going to talk about it now. We're going to move on to, because now I'm glad Craven brought that up, because it's kind of like what you say about terror, Bob.
Yeah.
Now, before we get into it, I got to go grab a cigarette real quick because this is going to be an interesting conversation.
Oh, it's gonna be very intense, believe me. And I know it's gonna piss off Care Bear because I got some interesting hot takes on this, and it's not just her that's annoyed with it.
Okay. Now, when we was watching Craven's watch party, well, we were doing a watch party last night. Craven had, the watch party for Scream 5 with Nancy Ann on or whatnot. We I was sitting there paying close attention to what you were saying about Tara or whatnot. And the scene that really caught my eye, and it's not that I didn't obviously see it before, but it just really stood out to me based on what you said, was the closet scene. You know what I mean? Why is she only tied up? You know what I mean? Like, why wasn't she killed? You know what I mean? Like, it's just something's not right in that moment. Just like with Craven, we're going to put this back up, saying that Mindy being passed out, quote unquote, for the entire third act from a shoulder stab wound is super sus. And I agree with that. Just like I agree
Yeah.
with the fact that it's super sus that Tara one was just stored in a closet and just taped up for no reason. Like, why didn't you keep her out there with everybody else?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then why would
Or
you?
not just kill her instantly, because once Sam went to the basement and Richie followed, Tara's free game because remember, she's all injured.
Yes, yes. And I'm sitting there watching that, and I remember when the part was coming up, and I'm sitting there like, all right, you know what? I want to see what Bob's talking about. You know what I mean? Let me really, really, really see. You know what I mean? And stuff. I just remember it cut to that scene, and even Sam in that moment had a moment of doubt about cutting her loose, and it just really, really caught my attention even more so now than it did watching the movies before, because that is super funny. How are, like, the whole time Amber and Tara are in the back? What are they doing? It took you that long to look for an inhaler that you were supposed to know where it was at.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, when everything, the shit's hitting the fan, instead of killing you or putting you out in the middle of the third act scene with Cindy, with Gale, with Sam, they put you in the closet and tape you up. Now, one could say, oh, well, that was an homage to Neil Prescott. Not so much, because even Neil Prescott was more banged up than that.
Yeah.
So, like, I'm not gonna lie, like, you pointed out really, really, like, it shed some light on Terror for sure, in my opinion. Definitely did. And Craven making a really good point because that is super sus. That she passed out from a shoulder stab wound. Like, I mean, you can what the sight of the blood, maybe, but I'm not buying it. No, I mean, man, it's funny how when we actually watch the movie over and over and over again, you always find new shit that looks fucking funky.
Yeah, but also let me talk about Terror in the opening.
Yeah, go
It's
for it. Go
easy
for
to.
it. I
It's
want you to shoot, Bob. You go ahead and shoot.
we've had ghost faces attack each other at the end, whether it's Stu and Billy stabbing each other, Jill going mental and beating herself up. They're willing to go all ham. And let's face it, Tara really wasn't attacking a major organ to bleed out. Even with the ambulance getting there quickly, she was getting stabbed multiple times before that. You wouldn't be able to survive even if you get stabbed in a main artery if they come. Because when you think about it, look at Chad. Him alone was a miracle that missed the main artery. You could make an argument even he's sus with all the times he was stabbed missing main arteries. Because that was barely on that leg artery, that thermal, where Riley in the TV series got stabbed and bled out slowly.
Yeah.
So people saying, "Oh, why would she go through a brutal attack like that?" One, a lot of the new security systems, there's cameras in the houses, so it's easy for her to want to look, stab me here, 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 all avoiding the main arteries, make it look realistic for the camera. Then nobody can say, "Oh, they weren't trying to kill me," because every ghost face
True.
kind of has that mental streak.
Yeah, you make an excellent point. You know,
And no offense to the like Mindy thing, but Mindy only got stabbed that one time. She didn't take a very brutal beating to make a point. It's easy that maybe it went deeper than we realize, and that's how she did pass out. Because sometimes if you get stabbed good and when they pull out, that's drawing blood, and you could cut a vein, even if it's not a main artery, more blood's gonna come out, and you can pass out instantly. I mean, look at in real life wrestling. They back in the day before blading, if they got busted open good, you'd actually see them pass out from a lack of blood.
no, you're right. Absolutely. No, that is definitely true. That actually that it wasn't that a true statement with Stone Cold that Bret Hart match that he was really bleeding and he passed out from the blood, like
Yeah,
from
yeah,
the
he
loss of
literally
blood.
passed out.
Like so. I mean, it's not impossible, but much to what Craven said, I will say this. It does make it look funky because I mean, it is a shoulder, it's a shoulder shot. And then on top of that, this is a girl who has watched multiple horror movies, seen blood and guts and stuff. So we can't say the blood is the what made her seeing the sight of blood is
Well,
what made her
seeing the
pass out.
blood, but we don't know how deep that
Yeah,
went.
how deep it did hit. We don't know how deep it hit. That is true. No,
Terry, you can make more of that argument with, especially how Joe was mental, beating herself up to make a point.
that is true.
And
That
like
that,
I
that is
said,
true.
there are a lot of new security systems, and it's supposed to take place in modern time. There's going to be cameras in the house.
Yeah,
Now,
that's
do
very
I now do I personally want Tara to
that's
be that
that's very
killer?
interesting
No,
because
I
I
don't.
talked to you about it before. We've had this conversation before. How you feel about Tara, I felt about Sam. But I will say this, like I said, after watching Scream 5, especially again last night, I can definitely see where you have your focus because that shit is funny. It's funky. You know, she gets tied up. She doesn't get put out in the middle of the action. And it's not like she even got put into the same closet that Neil Prescott was put in.
Yeah, because that would have been right in the kitchen.
Yeah. So if you want to say it was a direct homage to Neil Prescott, that kind of gets debunked because they didn't even put her in the right spot. You know what I mean? So I mean, listen, I do believe how they read it and how it was perceived, at least on camera, that Tara is the final girl, especially with Sam's performance and what I believe about Sam. But Bob, I've said it to you before, and I'll say it to you again. you would make some very, very valid points. And I am going to be keeping my eye on Miss Tara Carpenter a lot more in Scream 6. I will say that, man.
And it's not just that. Like I said with my past, with all that, like when I'm on the medication, it took me out of feeling any emotion. I would talk very, like, just like Sam would, where it would seem like I didn't have any real meaning behind any convictions, I would say. So you could still make the same argument because everybody looks at Jenna Ortega's performances over
Very
the
famous.
top. Now, I'm not saying Melissa Barrera. I like Maverick said, yeah, in other stuff she was very bland and dull. But like Beard said, this is that more perfect role if you're playing someone who's on that kind of thing because it's a lot like me. And also, if you do ever go full crazy, what message does that keep sending all the time in horror movies? Oh, you're just going to end up snapping. And Scream is in reality. Not everyone's going to snap under that pressure. We will make mistakes and screw up like we did with Richie, but that
It's
doesn't mean
true.
she is a full on killer. And what motive would she really have to kill Tara in the beginning of this all? She's
What if,
living.
what if, what if the fact that we believe that, well, we think, what if she's not Tara's real sister?
Well, yeah, but that could lead to maybe Tara found out from those diaries. They lived in the same house. It's very well possible she saw the same diaries.
Yeah, that is very, very possible. But I think Tara. I mean, we don't know because we didn't get any confirmation or any groundwork if she read those diaries. But I think either Tara didn't know because remember Sam said that Christina made promised her never to say anything about the diaries. Now, could Tara have found him along the way, much like Sam did? Yes, but I want to believe that maybe Christina, after Sam found him, destroyed him or hid him somewhere else. We don't know for say, obviously yet. You know what I mean? But definitely, like Tara's definitely got some shit to her. I will say that she's got some shit to her that I I I I was maybe a little bit more not looking her way, but she's it's interesting. It's very very she's interesting.
Eh,
She's
but
very
yeah, but like I said, my main thing is because of my trauma in the past.
Hold on real
Then
quick, Bob.
if
Have a nice night, Donna. Get some rest.
sleep good, mom. And
Says
that
it's been a
still feels
long day
weird
in this
saying that.
now. Have a good night, everyone. Great job, Bob Hump. That's right. Bob is
Yeah,
doing a great job. Definitely.
but yeah, like,
Definitely. Love
but
having this conversation with Bob.
definitely, I just don't see a point in making Sam being that full evil because then you're just pulling the same trope every horror movie does, and then that could lead sooner or later. That could lead to someone like, say, with my past, if they're so over medicated, that could actually lead to something in real life, and that would send a horrible message. That's my main concern.
No, I understand that for sure. Craven says, I agree. I just can't see Tara allowing herself to be brutalized to that degree if she is the mastermind.
Yeah,
I
but
mean,
also, but who else would know Sam better to get her back than Tara as
hmm,
well, other than Christina? But as we see, Christina isn't there. But Christina could be setting this all up too. Maybe also you could say that Tara maybe was part of the hive mind, but maybe toward the end she was realizing she was wrong with that whole getting brutalized. What if Tara did set it up originally, but she ends up turning because they went too far on the brutalization?
see, the one thing I will say to Bob and to everybody in the chat or whatever is something I thought about too is okay, with this whole terror mastermind theory. It's not impossible, in all honesty, to think that she could have been in on it for the simple fact. Look how close her and Amber was. You know what I mean? They had a really tight knit relationship, and who's to say that? Obviously, Amber didn't. Obviously, Amber was like the Sam to Tara for all those years in
Yeah.
so many ways. You know what I mean? So who's to say Tara didn't confide in Amber about how she really felt? You've seen Amber's disdain for Samantha. Who's to say that wasn't some of that disdain wasn't playing out through Tara? You know what I mean? Like,
That's what I'm saying. Like, what if because she lost her sister, what if she had said things to leads like that accidentally lead slip, saying, "Oh, this is how I want Sam back, but the only way would be is if I get attacked." And maybe she was in on it at first, thinking they would only kind of minorly wound her. But Amber, being just as crazy as Amber is, went way too far.
Mm-hmm.
But Amber didn't know that Tara was now, after being hospitalized, was like, F, screw this. I'm not part of this anymore. And that could be why she tied up Tara. Maybe in her mind thought, oh, Tara's still going to have our back.
That is
Because why
possible
keep her separated from
from
everyone else?
everybody else. That's what stood out to me in that scene from watching it again, is that they separated her from everybody else. This is supposed to be the final act scene, which is everybody in the damn house is supposed to be all in the same spot. You know what I mean? And she
Yeah.
is the only one outside of Mindy. Is, and we know it's Cindy. I mean, Mindy was attacked in the living room. Outside of Mindy, Tara was the only one separated and wasn't, and she was the only one who wasn't really attacked. She wasn't stabbed, or anything in that final act scene.
Yeah.
Nothing. Like, she wasn't harmed really at all. So there's definitely things about Tara that make you go, you know what I mean? I see where you're coming from, man. There's definitely some smoke there, in my opinion.
And also, it's just, not a lot of people outside, like people who have the same, at least similar trauma to that
Right,
medication,
Craven.
to where you see things.
Hunter by Horror real quick says, I don't know. Jill fucked herself up enough that she woke up in the hospital. That's a good point.
Yeah, that's kind of where I was going. I mean,
Yeah.
she did brutally attack herself, slamming herself through walls and everything. So
Craven says, I promise you that Christina Carpenter burned those diaries.
What if we find out that she gave them to Stu, and Stu found out about it, and that's why he's back?
Yeah, right. That would be funny. That would be great.
But no,
anything to bring Stu back. Let's do it.
No, I still think that we are going to have Sam and Tara as that final girl. I think we might find out something that Tara might have been involved, but she decided to back out after she was brutally attacked.
That's not
because she could have been in on it at first, but they did go way too far on that.
Yeah. You heard Richie, he wanted his ending. He was going to stop at any cost to get his version of what his ending was supposed to be. So, it's not impossible to think Tara's like, you know what, fuck this shit. These motherfuckers are batshit crazy. This isn't how I intended this to go.
Yeah, I just wanted to be stabbed a couple times.
Let me pull out before I fuck up even more than what I already did.
But no, the other reason, the other thing that I had a problem with is when she technically lost her inhaler.
Unit, yeah. Craven does make a point after it ruined her marriage and family unit. Craven says Tara could have been attacked to a much lesser degree, and Sam would have still come back. That does make a pretty valid point there.
Yeah, but that goes into my theory. What if it was supposed to be a light attack, but Amber and Richie wanted their movie their way, not listening to Tara? And Tara does back out after that. But they don't realize she's backing out because, mind you, most of the time she's in that hospital. They're not interacting with her on the same level.
Carrie's Crazy Center says Ghostface was out to kill Tara. Ghostface was still stabbing Tara even when the cops were coming. Tara was only alive because the cops arrived for once in big caps. That's kind of true.
Yeah, but the question is, did they really? Because mind you, when that alarm system was going off, think about it, it would automatically call the cops. We were sitting there already for 15 minutes, technically.
That's a good point too.
The cops really didn't get there that quick. When you stop to think about it, the cops didn't really get there that quick.
I'm loving this so much because
you guys are missing the whole point of what I'm saying. I'm not saying Tara's going to be the mastermind at the very end. I think she was a part of it in the beginning. Amber went way too far, and Tara decided, screw this, I'm out, because we don't see much interaction while she's at the hospital with Amber. They're not going to, she's not going to, and even if she wants to communicate, do you think she's going to tell Amber, oh, I'm out? She knows in the back of her mind that she's just batshit crazy. she's gonna kill me if I say I'm out.
Man, this is some good shit. Like I said, man, it's definitely you have some very valid points, and I'm telling you guys, listen, whether we agree with Bob or not, you know what I mean. I will say this as somebody who has been, advocating basically as Sam as defined, I mean, as the mastermind, at least one half of the mastermind. I will say this Bob's opinion, like Bob's theories, has definitely opened my eyes up to some clues about Tara that maybe I missed. Even if you know what I mean, just like some of the points you guys make, like Craven and Carrie and stuff like that. I definitely see where you guys are coming from, but I also see where Bob's coming from, and that's the beauty of this whole conversation. And you know what I mean is that we all see we all see something. You know what I mean, whether it's the same thing or whether it's the opposite, but we all see something about Tara. You know what I mean? Just like we all see something about Sam. And I love it. I love this engagement. In all honesty, man.
So do I, but I'm trying to open your eyes. I'm
Yeah,
not saying she'll be that killer
yeah,
in the
yeah,
end.
yeah.
But when you stop to think about Jill Brute, which one was it that said that Jill was beating herself up pretty good? It's the same thing.
Haunted by horror.
Yeah, Haunted by Horror kind of brought up my point. I mean, she did kind of go over the top even more than Billy and Stu did.
Yeah, she
And
did.
she still woke up at the hospital in time.
Yeah,
So, and we
that
don't
is
know how
true.
fast the cops got there for that either.
That is true. Man, this is definitely a great conversation, man. This is why I wanted to talk to you about it. In
Yeah.
all honesty, because you know what I mean. Like I said, I sat there after watching the watch when we were doing a watch party last night when Craven was, and I'm sitting there watching it, and I zoned in just on Tara in that end scene so much, and I'm just like, you know what? I can definitely see where Bob's coming from to where I missed that. Like I'm openly admit that. Like I didn't at all see anything that you were talking about. Didn't that just flew by my head when I watched this movie, even multiple times. But then, even like really zeroing in on it, I'm like, man, I can understand why Bob feels the way he feels and sees what he sees. You know
Yeah,
what I mean? 'Cause that
and
shit does kind of like not make sense. I agree with that.
and plus, like I said, with the trauma, I can easily see how Sam's void of all emotion being on medication. Because there are
Yeah.
medications out there that make you void lack of emotion.
Shay Dawn says maybe Richie or Stu went a little too far on Tara, and Amber hid her so she wouldn't get hurt or more, or maybe Tara is sus. I don't know.
See, I think, like I was saying, I think she was a part of it originally, but whoever was in that opening kill, whether it be Richie, Stu, or Amber, went way too far, and she decided, screw this. They're not my true friends. I'd rather try to make a bond with my sister. She might be crazy, but and maybe that's what she was trying to protect Tara from. Maybe Sam knew if people find out that I'm Billy Loomis's daughter, they're going to go after Tara just to lure me back.
That is true. That is very possible that we should be thinking about too.
But
Yeah.
nobody ever wants to think about maybe that's what Sam was trying to say because we get Tara interrupting her. Shut up, get out.
Yeah. No, I can honestly see that. And no, honestly, like I think a lot of us interpreted that she was trying to sit because even Sam says later on, oh, I thought I was going to turn into Billy or be like him. But in all honesty, it makes perfect sense why Sam wouldn't want Tara to know who she really is, etc. Because then, if everybody else finds out too, then that easily makes Tara a target, especially if somebody wants to obviously recreate the movie or put on a Ghostface mask.
And
No,
and it would lead to Tara maybe talking a little too much about wanting Sam back to Amber because we know they're close. And she could have been, yeah, I'm in just to get Sam back. Maybe Amber fooled her into saying, "Oh, we'll just get Sam back."
that's possible, man.
But the
There's
other thing, the other
there's so
thing that,
many possibilities, man. I'm just so excited for six. I'm ready to see what direction we're going in, man.
the other thing that always irked me too was when she found out she didn't have the inhaler. That would have caused far more of a panic attack than what she got.
No, say that again, Bob.
with the whole inhaler. The minute she found out it was gone, that would have induced more of a panic attack. She would have needed it immediately because that would have
That's
caused
true.
heavy
Yeah,
breathing.
yeah, panic. Yeah, she would have went into a panic, like a real panic. That's a good point too. I didn't pay attention to that part of her dialogue neither.
But at that point, I think she was putting on an act for Richie to go back, and she already knew in her mind she's going to stick with Sam no matter what at that point. So she was being brave for Sam so she didn't actually get that panic attack.
Carrie says, I'm sorry, Bob. I love you, but Tara's my girl. You can't prove me otherwise." LOL.
Did
Love
you not listen to a single thing I said in that? I'm saying she will be the final girl with Sam, but she wanted Sam back, led too much to Amber. Amber fooled her, and then they went too far. Because when you think about it, it actually adds up. Who would know better than Tara to bring Sam back, and who would Tara miss?
It's
She
true.
would have
And
been
she,
in originally, but they went way too far. I'm not saying she's the mastermind. She started off maybe giving too much, but then she saw how crazy Amber really was.
that's
And
not possible.
and my problem is if you do have Sam go evil, you keep sending the same message. Everybody with an illness is always going to turn evil.
You do make a point by that because, like you said earlier in the stream, like almost every horror movie that has like, so even if they're like playing a victim that has like mental health issues or whatever, they do always turn them into the villain. You know what I mean? So it would be something nice to see as if you don't do that because that isn't in real life entirely true. People who do battle with, their demons and mental demons and psychotic tendencies or whatever, they can pull through. You know what I mean? So I definitely agree with you with that.
Yeah, I'm not saying she can't slip up and have another kill like she did with Richie, but make it to where she still overcomes it in the end. Because if you send the wrong message, you're going to make an entire fan base that relates to Sam angrier than the people who want her to not be, I mean, who want her to go evil. Because there are more people who can relate to that on a personal level, whether it's people they know or they went through themselves.
Yeah, I agree with that. I agree with that. It's going to be interesting to see for sure what direction they take. You know what I mean? Especially in these next, because I'm just going to say we're going to get a 7. So in Scream 6 or 7, it's
Yeah,
definitely we're definitely gonna we're in for a wild ride, my friend. I
we
assure you,
really are.
we are in for a wild ride, and I am excited for it, man. I can't wait, man. Is it March 31st, 2023 yet?
Uh,
Man,
yeah, I think so.
somebody wake my ass up. Oh, I'm ready. I'm ready to hit the theaters, you guys. Let's
Wake,
go.
you know what? We gotta write a cover song. Wake me up when March ends.
Right? Exactly. Let's check out some of these more of these comments. Yep, Shave, that was perfect timing. Everybody is a suspect. Let's put that back up. That is right. That is so true. Everybody's a suspect.
Yeah,
There's a
but
formula to it. A very simple formula. Everybody's a suspect.
yeah, but no, like I was saying,
It's
the
telling
only
you the
issue
dad's a
I
red
truly
herring is
had,
Billy.
but yeah, no, like I was saying, really the only issue I have is everybody was so blinded by Jenna's performance that they didn't want to admit the small little susses. And there are a
No,
lot of people, but I respect their opinions. But I'm not saying she's not going to be the final girl, but you need to have someone who does have trauma succeed for once.
no, I can agree with that. In
Because
all
personally,
honesty.
for me, if you do have Sam go full blown evil with everything I went through, then you're pretty much saying that I should have ended up still being on medication, not overcoming it, and I should have just given in. And I wouldn't like that, and it would maybe turn me off of the franchise because there's another franchise. Oh, there's the bad guy. What's new?
Yeah, I can understand that.
It's just
Honestly.
somebody I can finally relate to on a personal level. Like with Halloween 4, I felt so disrespected when I saw 6, even though it was already well past when I came out. But not seeing Danielle Harris's Jamie and the way they killed Jamie, I felt
Yeah.
so disrespected as 4 and 5 were those first two I saw. And I was young, I could relate to that character being young, being possibly chased. That it cut me deep.
No, I get it, and that's see, and that's the thing. Like we grow such a connection, especially with these characters and movies, that when they do certain things, especially that we can relate to in real life and stuff like that, it does affect us. You know what I mean? And stuff. I can definitely agree with that.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
and I'm not saying the people can't get what they want. I'm just saying if I do see Sam go fully evil and doesn't overcome that, it's like, well, gee, thanks for making me feel worthless overcoming it.
No, I agree with you, man, and definitely, nobody should want that. You know what I mean? Want somebody to feel worthless. So I definitely get what you're saying because in movies in general, I like to watch dramas and all that stuff. A lot of movies, I agree with you. They do make the person who is already going through psychotic tendencies instead of making them seem that like, they can pull through out of it. They just automatically just let them go batshit crazy. You know what I mean? And in real life, it could be further from the truth. I've seen people struggle with mental health issues. I've seen people struggle with, psychotic tendencies and you know all of the above and still pull through and still not
Yeah,
go do nothing stupid and stuff. So I definitely agree with what you're saying because that's not always true. Just because you have mental health and you go through shit, that doesn't mean you're just going to automatically decide to go fucking shoot up a school or do something. If you believe in yourself enough that you can seek the help that you need and that you can change or at least evolve from that, you can do it.
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like definitely. Ooh, Tara should not be the opening kill. Ooh, what do you think about that, Bob? In Scream 6.
Well, obviously she's not going to be. If they do that, then what was the point of Scream Five's opening? Because that only sets up the point to bring Sam back, and if she led things to Amber, that's the only time it would make sense. What's the point of having Tara being the opening victim in six? Who's going
Yeah,
to be connected to that? There'd be no purpose. And
I agree.
what I would rather see as a possible opening would be like Bearded was saying, Gale getting a call while on TV. And we hear Dewey's voice. We get a la Scream 3 voice changer.
I would like that too.
That's what I think the opening should be. Or something maybe with a
How
Dewey
about the
funeral.
opening where Ghostface obviously calls Gale or whatever, right? And maybe Gale obviously doesn't die in the opening scene, but Ghostface is there at obviously her studio, and whoever else is in the studio just gets slashed the fuck up.
Yeah, oh, I'd love that.
Like a straight slaughterhouse from the beginning. Gail gets to escape. She gets to escape this one. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? But everybody else gotta go. That would be pretty gnarly for an opening scene. It would be a little bit different too.
yeah, and that could lead to Kirby coming back. She hears about Gale getting attacked if we don't get Sydney, but Kirby hears about this because it's on the TV and she could see it, and that's what leads Kirby back if we don't get Nev back.
That's true. Favorite said Tara's trauma sets her up perfectly to be the final girl. She mirrors Cindy much more than Sam. I agree with that. I do. I do. But like I said, Craven, I mean, like I said, there's definitely and even you said it in the chat, Craven. You know what I mean? This is what it's all about. You know what I mean? Like we all have our own, opinions, etc. You know what I mean? Like I agree that Sam. I think they did set Tara up to be the final girl. She does mirror Cindy Prescott more than Sam. And obviously, if you watch my videos, I've even referenced to Sam as more of the Maureen Prescott character when you think of her leaving Woodsboro, disappearing for 5 years, the secrets, much like Maureen Prescott, etc. So, from my point of view, I can definitely see why Tara is set up perfectly to be the final girl and mirror Cindy much more as opposed to Sam does.
Yeah, but see, that's where my problem lies. We're mirroring Sydney. Everybody's going to hold that high expectation that she might surpass Sydney. But what happens if, say, we don't get to keep Jenna Ortega? Then the whole trilogy was for naught.
Yeah,
That,
no, I
that's that. That's my thing. I want Jenna Ortega to stay, but also we get that family dynamic where both survive, which we didn't have. Marine died in the prequel,
Yeah,
metaphorically, to Scream. Roman turned evil. We don't get the siblings getting a happy ending.
got
This
you,
is where the whole sibling could come together, and
got you.
it overcomes Tara losing her sister. It helps Sam know she didn't turn into Billy Loomis after all. And that actually would make her a far better final girl than even Sydney. Yes, she had to deal with the mother's death, but it's not quite the same as knowing your father was a serial killer. That's far worse knowing that. And that's why she has those visions, lack of a father, and she's so paranoid that she'll be like him. It's on a different fear level of what Sydney had to deal with, in my opinion. I'm not saying
No,
Sydney was a
absolutely.
horrible character. I love Sydney. But when you think about it, Sam's her own in that sense.
No, she definitely is, and it would be something different to see both both sisters actually live at the end of the trilogy and get to that story arc of, you know, they were gone away from each other for so long, but then obviously having to go through these events only made them stronger, and it did help Sam not turn into the monster that she thought she would in terms of being like her father. You know what
Exactly.
I do agree that that would be a nice little different story. Like it's in terms of story arc and like putting the finishing touches, that would be different, and I wouldn't be against that because both sisters being alive to go on to have actually a good relationship, that would be kind of like a nice little storybook ending. It would kind of be like at the end of Scream 3 when the door opens on Cindy and there's
Yep.
nobody that comes through, and it's just like now she's finally at peace.
Yeah.
So I definitely get that. Absolutely. Oh, okay. Say hi, Don boy. Okay, here we go. Okay, Haunted by Horror, who's responding to Craven something scary. I definitely think if Sam does die, it would be defending Tara. That's not impossible to think at all.
if
I mean,
that's if that's how Sam were to die, I will take that because that does show she overcame that in the end.
yeah, I agree.
I don't want Sam just being an opening kill to subvert expectations because if you do that, again, people who connect to her, what does that set up for them? They're going to feel just as worthless again. And it's not necessarily me, but there's going to be a lot of people who do. And then, do you really want to be known as that franchise that pushed maybe people who did relate to a strong character like that away?
Yeah,
And I'm not trying to bring my past into this. I'm just thinking of it from a logical standpoint because everybody can connect to somebody in a movie. It doesn't matter what franchise it is. If
no,
somebody
absolutely.
sticks to it, it's art, they can relate.
Yes, absolutely. Craven says Sam being killed in the opening of S7 would be the biggest shocking opening Radio Silence could do outside of killing Cindy in Scream 6.
Mm, I will give my
Damn.
answer to that in 1 second. I just have to get up for a second.
Yeah, yeah, you go for it, buddy. Hold on. I seen another comment by you, Craven. I'm trying to find it real quick. Something caught my attention. Yes, 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 that Craven. Yes. I shot him 6 times. Radio Silence says, willing to risk it all to subvert expectations. Cap strong words. No, absolutely, man. I definitely do think they are going to throw a lot of curveballs our way and really try their best to be as different and derelegate from making this as a Wes Craven movie as much as possible. I do have some confidence in that, in all honesty. Like, and
Oh,
I hope
so do
they
I.
do. I hope they mean it. I hope they stick by it, man, because I want them to subvert our expectations. I want them to do things that not only are we hoping for, but maybe not hoping for, but that could be good. As long as it's good and it makes sense, absolutely. I think they can do it, and I think they should and will do it. Hopefully, they're not blowing smoke up our asses. Because you know how sometimes, you know, these movies, these movie directors, oh, we're gonna make this one so epic. We're gonna do this, this way, and then it's like when we get to the movie, it's like, wait, what the fuck is this? You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
and stuff like that. But I honestly think that radio silence, especially given the fact that they are big Scream fans, like much like us, I do think that they have something put together that we will all be satisfied with. Honestly, I do. I am confident in that.
Same here. But like I was saying, uh, definitely Sam being killed in Scream 7 would be epic, but it has to make sense for defending Tara. It can't just be to put her in to be killed.
Yes, I agree with that. Oh, thank you, Craig. Hey, Don Boy, say hi. Say hi to everybody. Hey, give him a wave, Don Boy.
Am I on
Uh,
screen?
uh, he loves attention, man. He does. It's a good dog. I couldn't ask for a better dog, honestly.
Very cute.
Can you imagine our jaws dropping to the floor as Sam is killed in the opening? Yeah, Craven,
Well,
I'd be heartbroken. I would be so mad. I'd be upset because even if even if I don't get Sam as the killer that I think she is, you know what I mean? I just still I mean I still think that if they can change the dialogue and change how she's written and how she delivers what she's saying, I like her. I don't know. There's some I always say it. There's something about Sam. So you know what I mean. But our jaws would drop to the floor. I would be I'd probably be stuck on this for like a good 10 minutes, honestly.
like
Because
I said, for me, it really would depend on how she's killed. That would decide if I'd walk out or not. Only, but here's an interesting theory for you. Instead of having her going fully evil,
uh-huh.
what if throughout this the friends get attacked, whether it's Chad again or that? What if she goes on a vigilante run to where she goes to hunt down who Ghostface is, and we see her killing in that sense? Because that would still show her overcoming that to where she's doing good.
Yeah, that would. I wouldn't be against that at all because we're kind of getting we're getting both we both are getting what we want. We're getting this I'm getting to see Sam be a badass and show some of that killer instinct in her I noticed she has, much like Billy is coaching her. But then you also get what you want to see is like she's actually using it for the good. She's actually using it to do something good. You know what I mean? So I definitely I wouldn't be against that at all. You know what I mean?
Because then it is the best
As
of
well, I
both
just want to
worlds.
see. I just like that ending scene with Richie. Really, really put Sam over the top for me. So I was just like, I gotta see her at least have some type of badass in her. If we get that again to where she's hacking up another Ghostface killer like that, you know what I mean? I and it's for the good. I'm not against that. You know what I mean? I wasn't against it at the end of 5. I loved her dicing up Richie the way she did. You know what I mean? So
Oh, so did I. But I'm still thinking long term, like,
yeah.
okay, that's a slip up, but you could still do good with that, however.
Oh yeah. Harris says, I want two people to get killed at the same time in two different places. That would be mind blowing. No, I agree with you, Carrie. I'm on board for that idea as well.
I am as well. Because
I
that
would love
definitely
that.
leads into the cult.
Yes. Yeah, that all but confirms we have a cult on our hands. All but certain that we have a cult. And you know who's running that cult?
Oh, yes, we do. Mr. Blackmore himself.
Yeah, man.
Mr. Stumacher in
I'm
disguise.
telling you, man. I don't know, man. You might be onto something with that Blackmore title, man. Because if that's not Tara's dad's last name, that could be Stu's alias. You know what I mean? That definitely could be his alias. I would not. That's not impossible in my brain. It's not.
No, because you're not going to go still calling yourself Stumacher because people will look you up, find those records, and that was all for not hiding your death, saying you were dead when you're still alive. You've got to change your alias.
Yes, I agree with that. That would be pretty sick. That'd be a perfect way to understand why we don't know, why we don't hear nothing about Stu in public records or nothing like that. That would be a perfect way to explain how we don't know that he's alive or not.
Yep,
How we didn't know after all these years he was still around. That'd be perfect.
exactly.
Shay says, "All right, Gale's the opening kill." Just kidding. I hope not. I hope Gale sticks around.
I hope
I
not, but I still think the opening scene at least should finally have her getting that call.
That's right, Carrie. That's right. That's right, Carrie. That's right. Someone gets killed in Woodsboro while someone gets killed at the college. I honestly think that is very possible in Scream 6, and I think we are going to get that, in all honesty. Whether we get that where I believe we're going to get it, I think it could happen at the ending. We'll see. But I do think at some point we are going to get 2 kills in 2 different locations in this movie. I do believe that. And I love it. Love it. Love that, Carrie. Love it. Craven says Carrie Cinema, Sam gets killed in Woodsboro and Tara gets killed in the college. They both die in the opening scene of 6. Whoa. Craven done left both of us fucking speechless. He left both of us like, oh,
If Tara dies in that
shaking,
situation, I'd be fine with it because then that'll shut everybody up about Tara. And that gets rid of Sam, and I don't have to keep debating why Sam shouldn't go fully evil. I'd be fine with that opening.
Whoa.
But that doesn't make sense because Sam said she would never leave Tara again. So that opening doesn't make any sense, however.
She was lying. She
No.
lied to it before. She was lying. Come on, Sam. Just say you're going to be. Just go back to Woodsboro for a day. Maybe you're going to go talk to Christina and try to mend fences on your own. And that's when it happens.
Actually, here's an interesting opening kill that could take place in 2 places. Christina Carpenter and Hank Loomis.
I said I said it that at the ending of Scream 6, I wouldn't be surprised if they would cut back. Let's say if we only get a minimal amount of scenes in Woodsboro, but those minimal amount of scenes are building up Christina Carpenter's character. I think that after we get the killer reveals at the college, that's when we are going to reveal a third killer when we cut to the scene of Christina in Woodsboro, and then she's going to get killed off at the end. But of course, this killer, we're not going to get the mask off. It leads into Scream 7, and then we speculate from there. You know what I mean? I am on board with Christina Carpenter being one of those out of town kills for sure. I think that lines
like
up.
I was saying, Hank's the opening kill because we find out that Sam is a Loomis. So before she can what if nobody finds out about Hank Loomis dying and while she's at the college is trying to find out where Hank Loomis lives?
That's not impossible.
And they end up going to find him, and we know he's dead, but they don't, and they find him dead.
That's not impossible at all. That definitely could be worked in. It would suck because I would like to see dialogue come out of Hank Loomis, but that's not an impossible theory at all. And it could work. It just would suck in terms of people like myself and like yourself who want to see Hank a little bit. I mean, but it could work.
Oh, definitely.
Uh-oh. Some of these comments.
But no, it's not that I hate Tara. It's just, I finally have someone I could actually in real life relate to outside of, like, say, Danielle Harris from 4. Like, I have a personal connection.
Oh, yeah.
And that's why I'll sit here and die on that fence defending Sam, because it really does send a bad message. And I know some people like Fate have said that, but it's something I said when I first saw it before I saw you guys. This whole community group that I was in on Facebook, man, was bashing me saying, oh no, you need to have Sam go evil. And I'm just like, that makes no sense. You tell me everybody with mental illnesses should be evil?
No, I get it, man. I absolutely get it. Gabriel Avila Jr. says, I agree. I've always wondered how we've never seen public records or even anyone alluding to the thought that Stu is dead. He doesn't have to be a villain, but he could be somewhere. No, I mean, well, the whole he doesn't have to be a villain. I mean, he
No, he has to be.
yeah, he
Otherwise, it
has,
wouldn't make sense for
it
him to
wouldn't make
be
sense
back.
for him to come back.
Because
He
you
has
can
to be
because
he
you
has
can
to be a
easily
villain because they
explain.
all forgot about him too.
Not just
Like,
that, you can easily explain. He feels that it should be him seeing Billy in his head. He grew up being friends with Billy. Sam never knew him. It can make sense not to go after Sydney as well.
yeah,
Because Sydney still has that memory. She didn't forget him.
no, not at all. You know what I
And
mean?
which is,
Everybody else in Woodsboro did.
yeah, so you can easily write in why Sydney's not in six in that sense. But when Stu is revealed, that's what leads her back.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. But yeah, Gabe, he has to be a villain. We just can't have the character Stu Macher just living somewhere alive and he's not like anywhere involved in what's going on. He's like goody two shoe now. Like it's just no. You know what I mean? That wouldn't be good. You know what I mean? In my opinion. You
No,
know what I mean?
but when we
I
first,
appreciate you, the comment and stuff. And like you said about the public records, like yeah, like absolutely, like they're like we were just talking about. If if that working title isn't what we think it is in terms of it being Tara's dad's last name, that could easily be Stu Macher's alias, easily.
definitely. And that's where I'm leaning, because everybody's saying, oh, it's Tara's father, it's Tara's father. Now, I think Rory is Tara's father, which will get a last name as we get closer to release date. I think Blackmore is referring to that we're going to get the Colt now.
That's interesting. That could be.
What if the
That
Colt's name is Blackmore?
that could be. That there's so many things we can do with this working title. You know what I mean? There's definitely for sure, definitely some ideas we can have on it for sure. Because I'm starting to lean a little bit towards it that's not Tara's dad's last name.
No, because she's Hispanic. I think if it was, we would see a dual last name.
I believe that too. Some of these comments here. That's right, Craven. You know it. He faked his death and with his parents' help, and he is under a new identity. That's right, Craven. That's right, man.
Yeah, what if he's under the name of Vince Blackmore? Maybe that's why he killed Vince and he took Vince's first name.
It's not impossible. It's not
Because
impossible. That's not impossible at all. Out of Scream 2022 characters, who do you think is the opening kill? Who should have been the opening kill? Mine would have to be Mindy. It's a good question, Shay.
hmm,
That is a good one.
hmm.
I mean, maybe Liv to kind of rehash the Casey Becker scene a little bit. I mean, just for the simple fact she did break up with Vince to get with Chad. A lot of us, a lot of people believe that Stu, the reason why he killed Casey is because she left him for Steve. So if they would tie that in later, obviously, if one of the killers were revealed as like somebody who was like involved with Liv, maybe Vince, or what if Vince turned out to be the killer, that I would have probably enjoyed that opening scene just as a nice little nostalgia. But in all honesty, I like the opening scene we got. It was different in the term that we didn't get an opening kill. You know what I mean? I do feel like we needed to differentiate at least one time from that opening kill scene. And we did. We got away from that one time. It was nice. Now it's time to go back to it. You know what I mean? Like I personally
Definitely.
I really was satisfied with this opening scene.
Yeah,
Chad.
I'd
Like,
have to say the opening scene itself was wonderful, and it can lead to the fact, like I was saying, it ends up where originally Tara did want Sam back, but she didn't know that it would lead to Ghostface returning because maybe at that point she didn't know. But if Amber somehow knew, I mean, she knew the Stu Mocker house, maybe it is possible that Christina ran her mouth at a bar and Vince overheard it one time. Remember, Woodsboro is a small town.
I said the same thing about Dewey. I said if Dewey's an alcoholic, you know what I mean, especially now in this new timeline in Scream, and it confirmed that he was a alcoholic. You even seen it in the deleted scenes. He was at the bars. You know what I mean, he was at that bar. How did he not know about how didn't he not hear? Especially from Christina maybe running her gums in the bar. How are they not in the same area? You know what I mean? They're like you said, Woodsboro's a small town. There's not that many bars.
Yeah, but also, we don't know how long Dewey was drinking. He could have started after Christina already left for, say, London.
That's true. But I'm talking about like in terms of her leaving before, like her going to the bars while still in Woodsboro. And obviously she's been spreading this throughout town. You know what I mean? Like at least the town, I'm pretty sure the town knows all, but if those teenagers, unless it's Stu who gave them the information, obviously, you know what I mean? If those teenagers knew, there's got to be more adults that know about that. And my thing is, hey, Dewey knew Vince. Dewey knew who Vince was. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
I mean, I'm
So
just throwing Vince out there. It could be
yeah,
anybody.
that's what I'm saying. Dewey knew who Vince was, and that's why that always bothered me. It's like, okay, so Dewey knows who Vince is, but you mean to tell me not one time if Christina Carpenter and him I want to say they don't have to be in the same bar, but at some point, if they're drinking or whatever and they're alcoholics, they're going to cross paths, especially in a small town.
Yeah,
You know what
you
I mean?
know, there is one other thing I could think of. Amber and Tara are friends. It is possible maybe Christina didn't go out to bars. Maybe she kept it all in the house, and one night Amber overheard her. Amber is known to sometimes lie.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So it's possible she just overheard it one time when she was over Tara's.
That's true. Yeah, she could have definitely lied about Christina going around town, basically saying she was a drunk and that, the whole town knows. Because now that I'm thinking about it, what's interesting about that is why would Christina bring all that attention onto herself?
And plus, how would Dewey not have found out by now?
Exactly. That's the only thing I had an issue with. That's why I said if she's drinking and if she's an alcoholic and Dewey's an alcoholic now, and this is a small town to where we only see one live bar that everybody seems to go to, they would almost have to run into each other. Oh, hold on. They would. All right, there we go. They'd have to run in each. They at some point would have to run into each other, right? Or at least if Dewey's hanging around and she's drinking and she's like, "Hey, my daughter's dad is Billy Loomis or whatever," Dewey would hear that.
Yeah,
You
and
know
I
what I mean?
don't.
So like,
And
that's
plus,
why it did always mess me up. Like, okay, Christina's supposed to be this drunk who's at a bar and people know about this, but Dewey, of all people, the former sheriff, does it? That always didn't sit in my craw right.
yeah, no, because now think about it, yeah, I mean, we know Amber could easily lie. I don't see her being in a hospital scene, but to get a reaction out of Gale, oh, I killed Dewey.
No, it's Craven. Craven just says, I shot him 6 times. Amber is the only person in that movie that knew Billy was Sam's dad. Dewey did not even know. I think Amber lied about that. Otherwise, everyone would have known that secret. I mean, well, that
I think Sydney knew because the
yeah,
way Sydney
Sydney knew
reacted.
because yeah, Sydney did know because remember, Dewey didn't tell her the dialogue we got. Dewey didn't tell her, as well as Gail didn't say nothing about knowing Sam. Like when she met Sam, you can clearly tell she didn't know who the heck Sam was. So outside of Amber, Cindy was the only person who knew who Samantha was, and which is why we got that dialogue. Uh, hey, yeah, I know who you are. And stuff like that. Like
Yeah, and I think that Sam is Sydney's daughter, and I think she gave her up to Christina, and Christina is technically the godmother, but Christina kept the secret. But one day she maybe was talking on the phone with Sydney. Amber overheard it.
that. No, I'm not against that at all. I think that is a real possibility. I like I said, when I saw that hospital scene between Cindy and Sam, it just stuck out to me. How did Cindy knew she was Billy's daughter when we didn't get the dialogue that Dewey didn't tell her or Gail? And that really, really stuck out to me. And I think we're gonna find out down the road more about that. I think I think that's gonna get the curtain's gonna get peeled back on that. Because if they don't, and we get something completely different, and that's just bad writing and bad dialogue.
Yeah,
That's just
definitely.
like that's just bad writing and bad dialogue. If they sit there and have Cindy know that that's Billy's daughter, but don't give an explanation as to how the hell she knew when Dewey didn't know and Gail didn't know, that would leave a sour taste in my mouth.
Yeah, it would for me as well.
Craven says, "Yeah, you're not buying that one bit." No, I agree with. No, I'm like Craven. I agree with that. Like now that I'm like really thinking about it, it is more of a possibility that Amber lied about Christina being at a bar, being drunk, and saying that because much like me and Bob were just discussing, like if Dewey obviously was an alcoholic and Christina was an alcoholic, at some point their paths would have crossed, and Dewey, being the former sheriff, obviously would have found out about that. So I agree with you. I think, and now that
Yeah,
I'm really like going back to that scene, I think Amber was most likely lying about that too. Just like Craven says, just like she lied about killing Dewey. Yes, absolutely. Shay says, makes me feel like Mindy is going to be one of the characters, one of the ghost faces in 6. If she isn't in the opening kill, she was definitely sus to me, getting stabbed in the shoulder and being out cold the whole time. Same as Richie. That's it. It's not impossible.
yeah,
It's
but
not impossible.
like I said, for that reveal, I want her to be getting beat up at the end, not being unmasked. Have her mother beating her up. Chad somehow gets revived, and he limps in, and he's kind of give not beaten up, but kind of like giving small punches. Sydney get everyone's beating her up, and we don't get an unmasking until she's dead.
Yeah, that
Because
would be.
that is something we haven't seen, an unmasking after they were dead.
Yeah, that is true. That is very, very true. That would be something different and something nice to see. I'm
And
not going to.
it can also add on to Martha feeling really horrible that now Mindy was the killer. And it adds some character on her and Chad.
Craven says I'm referring to all the Woodsboro characters. Are you talking about what in reference to the Amber conversation about the whole bar scene with Christina? No, Craven, I have not seen that movie Jagged Edge. Hmm. Craven says he would not be surprised if Mindy ends up being a Ghostface killer. A lot of people feel that way about Mindy. I think it would be a nice reverse, because she's being dubbed as the Randy character. It would be a nice reversal if she does end up the killer.
Yeah, plus Chad kind of
I'm
was
gonna say
more
then
that.
that would probably cement Chad as basically like the new Randy.
I was gonna say I kind of see Chad being more the Randy and Dewey possibly of the franchise, because the way he was trying to protect everybody. Oh, I want to get you all to have this app that'll track you, which in hindsight's a good idea, but there's a killer on the loose.
Right.
So he has the stupidity like Dewey, yet he could have had the girl he turned her down with Liv.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, he was. That scene really shocked me. I did not expect him to say no.
I
Yeah,
mean,
I'll be honest.
then he was stupid and went out looking
Yeah,
for her.
exactly. And I think that is something that we could see him mature from in this one, or in 6 or in 7 if he's in both, whatever. That's something he can mature from. You obviously you followed a good decision with a mistake. Next time you
Yeah,
do a good decision, don't follow it up with a bad mistake. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Craven says yes, he likes that idea, Bob. Craven likes that idea of the killer being revealed after he's dead. Yes. Powerful way to do it. Yeah, I agree with that. I like
Yeah.
that a lot. Bob wants a WWE showdown at the end. Ha ha ha. Had to retype that. Shay Dawn. That's right.
Hey, if the ghost face is John Cena, it make perfect sense. Have him as the stunt double. You can't see him.
Oh man. How would you feel? How would you guys feel, right? If Ghostface just basically like somebody's like, all right, so we have a scene where it's kind of getting creepy, and somebody's like walking through let's say, I want to say like maybe like a corridor or something to where you have something that you can hide above and like jump down and jump on somebody, what have you. How would you feel
Mm.
if Ghostface, if whoever's Ghostface decided to elbow drop somebody from the top rope or something? How
No,
would
no,
you
no,
feel if you just see Ghostface flying through the air at one of his victims, like elbow?
no,
But
no.
instead of the elbow, right? Instead of the elbow, you get him like basically Supermaning punch, like a Superman punch, but with the knife.
No, I got a better one. I got a better one. You have the elbow drop,
Uh
but
huh.
you know them like elbow pads that have spikes on them.
Mm.
You have that, but he also has to have the voice changer like Scream 3, and all you hear is "Ooh yeah."
Yes,
As he's
that has to
jumping
happen.
down.
That has to happen. That has to happen. That has to happen. I might have to do. I might have to do a video myself. I have to. I have to get my buddy over here to help me out with that one. You just gave me an idea. You just gave me a hell of an idea.
Well, I expect some royalties when you make money.
Oh, I got you, buddy. I got you.
Especially since I'm going to do writing for your scripts.
Oh wow, really? All right, Craven, definitely, man. I appreciate that, buddy, and I will definitely make you a mod, man. I appreciate that. I would be honored to have you as one of my moderators, man. I appreciate that, man. Honestly, greatly appreciate that. I do need more moderators. I'm waiting for my one friend, Sierra, to get who went with me to Horror Hound Weekend. Just waiting for her to give me a call back, see what's on her schedule as well, see if she can help do some moderating when I do these streams as well. But definitely, Craven, would love to have you as a moderator. I'll actually put you in after the stream.
Oh,
I'm about to say,
talking about Horror Hound, if you come to the Monster Mania, I'm trying to work on getting my mother down here so I could take, so me, her, and my grandmother can go to meet up with y'all.
oh, I'm coming to Monster Mania. Like
Oh,
I'm already put my plan in motion.
then I
Like
have
it's
to definitely convince her to try to come down.
yeah, I'm already putting my financial plans in motion. No doubt about that. I'm coming to Monster Mania. Like I said it to myself. I said, you know what? You know what I mean? You'd be going to two straight cons, and there'd be two straight cons and two like back to back, like August and September. You know what I mean? But it's a better time to do it and get ahead now while you have this idea because I have a few months. So now I can plan and financially plan for both of them.
Yeah, I'm gonna be trying to plan. It really depends if she comes down. If my mother doesn't, it's gonna be harder because I'm not gonna have my grandmother drive up there and that.
Got you. Well, if anything, buddy, like we'll figure. About to say, if that don't work out, we'll figure it out. We'll definitely talk and
Yeah,
you know we'll keep in touch about that because I'm definitely coming up for that.
if not, make sure you take some good pictures for me,
Definitely.
and then
No,
I'll then I'll
we're
photo
gonna make sure
myself
you
next to
we're gonna make sure you get
Matthew
there.
Lillard.
We're gonna make sure you get there, Bob.
Then I'm gonna Photoshop myself next to a Matthew Lillard.
I would like to get Craven out to a con as well.
Oh, oh my God! Yeah, if we get Craven out, we definitely have to get him to do the Crispin Glover
Well,
dance as
and
well.
Craven, if you're still watching the stream, I know you guys said Night Watch is get buying a booth at what at this at Monster
I
Mania or
think it's at
whatever.
Monster Media. I don't know
Yeah,
if it's on the website
I
yet. I
would
gotta check
listen.
into it.
I said it. I said it before. I don't know if Craven caught it on one of his live streams, and I should have just sent it to him in IG. But I would love for all of us content creators to plan a trip, even if it's not this year, maybe with next year or whatever. Plan a trip to get a booth, and we all like basically go live and like do events and stuff from the cons together, and like all at the same time we're pushing the channels and stuff, but we're all as well having
Yeah,
a great time. Like I think that would be pretty cool,
you
man.
know
Like
what, Shay? No, it wouldn't be Triple H. There was only one wrestler who ever donned the Ghostface mask in wrestling, and that was The Miz. You would have to have The Miz be Ghostface.
oh man, he would be the perfect Ghostface because of his mic skills, the shit he would say, the shit that would come out of his mouth. Man,
Yeah, but no, he was the only WWE superstar to don a Ghostface mask. It just dawned on me when she said that.
that's right, Craven. That would be wild. One of these days down the road, we will have to have a monster live stream
Yep,
event from the convention. Yes, man, I would love to do that. That would be so fun. I think that would be such a great time, man.
it would be.
Honestly, honestly. Say you want to go about another 5 minutes, and then we'll head off of here.
Yeah, yeah, that sounds
All right,
good.
cool. Yeah, we've been going for 3.5 hours. You know what I mean? True, we went longer than what I intended to, and I'm not mad
Yeah,
because I'm not even tired. You
neither
know what I
am
mean?
I.
I'm glad I got to have this conversation with you. I'm glad you guys stopped by in the chat, showing your love and support for the channel. Please, if you haven't already, smash that like button to this stream. The support is greatly, greatly appreciated. I usually have a banner, going across that says, like and subscribe. I was kind of rushing this stream or whatever, so I didn't even put that up. It happens. We'll see it the next time and stuff, but just shooting it out there. If you haven't already, shoot that like button, guys. The support is greatly, greatly appreciated. And any new viewers, any new viewers to this stream, to this channel, hit that sub button, guys. The support is greatly, greatly
Yep.
appreciated.
Yeah, and if you
All right, so
subscribe and
next 5 minutes, the next 5 minutes, everybody in the chat, the floor is yours. Ask me and Bob whatever you want.
just
But
nothing about if we like
while you
tentacles.
guys are asking away real quick, I do have to use the John real quick. So I'll be right back, but I will see your questions in the chat. So just hit me with your questions, hit Bob with your questions, whatever.
Yeah,
Next 5 minutes, have a whirl.
yeah, I'm up for any questions. Just nothing about tentacles. That'd definitely be a good idea, Haunted by Horror, to do some streams on that one. Oh, it was fun hanging out with you too, Carrie. And yes, that would be very epic there, Craven. I can't sit there and argue. If Gale comes back, what do you think, Will? No, he doesn't. I don't plan on telling him. I do not plan on telling him that, Carrie. Well, Shay, I do think Gale will come back. Uh, I think her fate might end up being killed in 7, but I see her surviving up until then. I think it's going to be her and Kirby mainly for Scream 6 up until the end when we get Stu. And Stu's going to be the thing that drives Sydney back. But that's just me personally. Oh, I definitely love Breakfast Club. Fantastic movie right there. Definitely one of my all-time favorites. What would make Scream 6 amazing in my opinion? Uh, Definitely laying the groundwork into getting Stu back into the story. Maybe having Leslie Mocker not want to, not approving of what Stu did, and her kind of distancing herself from that, so we get a different version of that family member. That's definitely something that would make Scream 6 amazing in my opinion.
Okay, so I'm caught up here. Oh, whatever. Had to take the dog out real quick and go use the bathroom. So, what would make Scream 6 amazing in your eyes? Um, honestly, just give us a great movie with radio silence. Just give us a great movie that makes sense. The dialogue makes sense that we can all enjoy. That's all I can ask for. In all honesty, if you make a great movie or a good movie that makes sense and it appeals to past audiences from Scream franchise and the new generation audiences, if you can converge that and make it a great movie or good movie, I'll be happy. That would make it amazing in my eyes. If I'm not expecting everything to be perfect, but one thing I think they can do a really, really good job at is better dialogue, especially with their writing. Like, because there was so much, like I said, in terms of like the Cindy, I don't know if that was done on purpose or what, but if it wasn't done on purpose, Cindy saying, "Yeah, I know that you're Billy Loomis's daughter," you know what I mean? That would be bad
Yeah.
writing if you don't get a reason as to how Cindy knew that. So just better writing, better. Hopefully, the dialogue is more understandable, but make it their own. The most important thing is make it their own and make it great. Make it make sense and make it great, but make it their own.
Definitely. And I think having Leslie Mocker distance herself from her brother not approving, I think that definitely would be a twist in itself because a lot of people expect Leslie Mocker to be just as crazy as Stu was. I think it would be better to have her like saying, "Oh, I don't approve of what he did. I'm trying to distance from him."
Yes, I would agree with that, honestly. Because
Because everybody in Woodsboro wants to pretty much forget about him.
yes, and we would be expecting. I'd like to think, I don't want to try to speak for everybody, but I'd like to think a lot of us would think that if Leslie Mocker is in this movie, we are somewhat, if not hoping, thinking that she has some of her brother in her. And I think it would be a nice little twist and a nice little diversion if we didn't get that type of character from Leslie Mocker. She's like, no, I never condoned of anything what my brother did. I did not, do not condone of, my son, the path he was heading down. I don't condone of any of it. I think it would definitely be a way to get different because that's not something we would expect. We hear Leslie Mocker and we're like, oh yeah, shit's about to hit the fan. She's about to maybe possibly be a Ghostface killer and be like her brother was. You know what I mean? So I think it'd be something that could be a little bit different.
Definitely.
Yes, it is going to be fun. It is definitely going to be fun. I can't wait for this movie to come out. It's so crazy because I'm excited for Halloween Ends, and I love Halloween. That's my number one franchise. But it's crazy because I'm actually more excited for Scream 6, guys. Like I am. Like I I just feel like they can go so many avenues. And if they do it the right way and make it their own, I think we're in for a special next two movies, in all honesty. I think Scream 6 and 7 has the potential to be very, very special.
It really
Very,
does.
very
Especially if Radio Silence puts their own stamp on it.
yes, I agree with that. I agree. All right, guys, we're going to close it up here for tonight. I appreciate everybody in the chat. We got 5 people. We had it up to like 11 people. Hey, it doesn't matter. I don't care if it was just one person in the chat. The fact that you guys stopped by to show some love and support and chatted up with us is greatly, greatly appreciated. Honestly, guys, the support, like, mwah, I love you
Yeah,
guys. Honestly, I
love you
love this
all.
community. Love this community so much. I'm so glad that I joined this community and I'm making new friends and great friends like you, Craven Something Scary, Carrie Crave Cinema, you, Mr. Bob Hunt.
Yeah.
Thank you for coming on this stream with me today, brother. And
Oh, no question.
like I said the other day, we're definitely going to be doing a lot more live streams together. We're going to make this special, my man. No
Yeah,
doubt.
we are.
We're
And
going
you
to
know,
build our channels to be special.
I got to thank Craven and especially Carrie Crave Cinema. And I know she's not here, but Necessary Distraction for my first time
Yes.
in their stream, making me feel welcome, breaking me out of that shell. And even though I'm going through some dental work, I'm more confident to be on screen now, and some of the other stuff in my past I'm far more comfortable with, and I'm no longer afraid to do things like this. And it really opened up. I'm sure you could tell, even like during the whole mega party, as it went along, I was becoming more open, less nervous,
Mhm.
less scared to be myself. Because
Yes.
last time I was just thrown in toward the tail end, and I felt kind of bad taking that spotlight from some of the people just showing up.
Yeah.
But as I got along in the last one, I was able to kind of find that voice and be able to give it. And that's what made it possible to be here tonight and not as scared as I usually was. So I got
Yes.
to thank you too, man, because you helped me come out of that.
That's awesome, man.
So I
Honestly,
owe it
that's
all to you, Shay. Even Shay, I mean, I've been talking to her on Instagram. I mean, I wouldn't be able to talk to y'all like I would if it wasn't for Craven.
honestly, man, Craven's awesome, man. Like, and plus, like, as I said it before in the stream the other night, you know what I mean? He has done such a good job of letting the community know like that it's just not about, horror movies and horror discussions. It's about bonding.
Yeah,
It's
it's
about
about
getting
the
to know each other. It's
and it's
about showing love and support for each other.
and the
You know what I mean?
mark that you can make on people, not just the
Yes.
people you're bonding with like during live streams, it's the people in the
Yes.
chat boxes and those who
Yes.
don't want to communicate necessarily because they're afraid, those who want to watch and will stick around till they can feel comfortable expressing their love. Because some people come like from me from a Facebook group that everybody wants to bash you for your thoughts.
Yeah. You're right. That does go along a lot in those Facebook groups like that. It does.
So,
You're right, Craven. This is really what it's about. Yes.
yeah.
Craven is a horror matchmaker. That is so true. That is so true. No, because like I said on the stream the other night before we wrap it up, like I had seen other like YouTubers, like we watched a movie and stuff like that. Like, and don't get me wrong, they're great and they engage, with their audience and stuff, but not to the way that Craven does. Like,
Yeah.
and that's what really stood out to me when I like obviously start watching his videos, but then start watching his live streams, is that he loves his audience so much, like, and he loves to engage with his audience. And I always said that if I'm gonna have a podcast or a YouTube channel, a horror movie channel, that's how I would want to be. Like, I want to talk to the people that I'm asking to view my channels. I want to have these deep type of discussions with them because I want to hear from them and I want to hear their opinions. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So shout out to you again, Craven, man. You're awesome, man. And don't let nobody ever tell you different.
Yeah. And, it was really nice for you to invite us all that
Yes.
are on the lower end that aren't really on the same like friendship level as you are with like bearded carbonite Jedi. The fact you considered us to be on there and have a fun time, it was an experience worth a lifetime that I can pretty much speak for Marcus on this. We'll never forget because there are other YouTubers out there that, people want to say, "Oh, we love you," and then like they say, "Oh, we're starting up a channel. Do you have any ideas?" And they'll be like, "No, don't start one. I don't want. This is only for me." But you reach out with that hand of love, and I'm like, "Yeah, go for it because tomorrow might be too late. It's about doing it now, and go get your dream, and never say never."
Absolutely, absolutely. And I just love how we all lift each other up. You know what I mean? Like we all live, we all live in different states, we all live in different parts of the globe, but the love and the support is all the same. And that's what really just gets me. And I love this community. I'm so glad I joined this community. I'm so glad I found you, Craven. I'm so glad I found you, Carrie, Bob, Shay, all of you
Yep.
guys in the chat. Everybody who shows up, to Craven's live streams, everybody who shows up to these live streams, who comments on our videos. Every bit of the support and the love is you guys don't understand. It really hits the heart. So I just want to close it out with that. And as well as you guys know, this is I Shot Him Six Times YouTube horror movie channel. I'm your host, Marcus, aka Ghost from Mars. This is Bob Hunt, and we will shoot at you guys later. Have a great night, everybody.